So today, guys, first of all, thank you for everyone who joined. I know I see some familiar names. Some of you are probably here for the first time. But either way, we gonna try and make the most out of it. I'm gonna try to make it engaged as possible as well. So feel free to be engaged with me in the group. It's gonna be me teaching a lot of what I'm thinking are the steps for you to take in the craziness that we're experiencing right now. For those of you who are new to the program, this could be a great jump start. So you could start action right away and pretty much close deals literally in the next week if you're serious and committed, because a lot of the deals that we're seeing right now are companies that we can literally take over for free if we know, again, how to just build relationships, find them, position ourselves the right way, and know a little bit strategies on how to then potentially turn them around or pivot the businesses in order for them to not collapse and eventually make some profits. So I'm gonna get started right away. Now we can see properly, Ari. So are you guys, can you guys see this Google Doc that I have in front of me? Because I see from Ari that you can't. So please just let me know that you can see it. Sweet, awesome. So you can see it, great. And worst case, I'm just gonna go through the notes, so don't really worry about it. Cool, so is this our biggest lifetime opportunity? I think potentially yes. I don't think there's ever been a better time to start relationship with businesses to eventually buy them. I think if you're combining the baby boomer situation that people just want to retire, you take that and you combine it with what's going on right now with the coronavirus thing, and you get a lot of people who are just motivated to leave their business or just suffering. This is by far going to be and starting to be already, just check that I'm recording, the best opportunity to buy businesses for almost free or $1 down deals, which is basically just to take over the business from the owner and do him a favor. And you legally need to have just $1 to show that there's just a mutual transaction. You can do a lot of 100% earnout deals, seller financing deal. We're going to go through that as we go. But guys, if you weren't committed so far to the process, now is the time to change that and recommit to the process, because I'm telling you, this is the time. Like, there's never been a better time to do that. And even if you're thinking, a lot of you are probably thinking, hey, why should I buy those businesses? They're suffering, they're losing money. You should understand that in order to get to a point where they're at, it can potentially take them years to get there, to get to a point where you have a lot of employees, a list of clients, like all those different assets that a business needs to build over time, right? Equipment, inventory, things like that. Just understanding on the market and clients, even if you decide to start something like that from scratch, will take you a lot of time. So appreciate the fact that you can ride on people's experience and hard work, that sometimes we're talking about people who own businesses for 5, 10, 20 plus years. So don't think that you buying a business, even if it's in a distressed situation, isn't still very, very well. You need to understand that distressed businesses many times can be businesses that are making millions a year in revenues. Even if they're not really profitable, by you making a few changes, you can make them profitable super fast and bring in cash flow and make it really, really good very, very fast compared to you trying to do it from scratch. Now, few things. Here's the thing. The main program, if you go through all the videos, I'm mostly talking about just how to buy good, profitable companies, right? The companies who make good money and have a distressed seller, right? So distressed seller, but a good, profitable business that have good track record, et cetera, recognition in the market. With what's going on right now, we're going to find a lot of businesses. So the program mostly is all about how to get good businesses with distressed sellers, right? People who are motivated to go out, go through personal health, divorce, just want to retire, whatever their situation is, but the business is good, right? That's the main program, and go through the full program. Obviously, if you didn't, right, they're going to go walk you through step by step on how to do that. With what's going on right now with the coronavirus situation, we're going to find a lot of businesses who are just almost going down, right? Almost like, I don't know what's going to go on with the market, but if it's going to continue for a few more months and potentially years, man, it's been a lot of businesses potentially going down and filing bankruptcy and just shutting down their doors. Now, the difference between those businesses to begin with is when you find a good profitable businesses that have a lot of cash flow or enough cash flow, you can go and hire a CEO or general manager, someone to run the day-to-day for you, right? When you don't have a lot of cash flow, which is what's going to happen with a lot of those businesses right now, not a lot of cash, not a lot of cash flow, you won't have enough money to hire someone else. So you need to be willing to go and do the dirty work, be there day to day, make sure you turn around the business, manage the employees, go out there and do whatever needed to use the assets that you have with that business and leverage that to grow, or at least turn around and get back things to and stabilize them. So you just need to understand that there's a difference between being an owner and investor, someone who can buy a business and let someone else run the day to day, and you just be the owner investors looking at KPIs, setting goals with the management team, etc., etc. Versus if there's not enough money to hire a general manager, then it can be you. And probably the best thing for you, the best way for you to learn about the business, for those of you who never owned a business, is to own a business and manage a business, right? To learn things that we're going to go through later on how a business even looks like. What should you do to grow a business and add value to the market to make money? And that's why you have the few fresh modules in the program in order for you to learn the fundamentals of business. Because if you don't have that, it's going to be very, very difficult to even manage someone that's running the day-to-day for you. You need to understand that every business got some marketing, sales, operations, support, finance departments, things like that are kind of like basics in a business that if you don't understand, that's going to be difficult for you to run and own any business. So the businesses that I'm mostly going to focus on in this session are businesses that are about to run out of cash. Like I said, you're going to need to get your hand dirty to go and do turnaround, or at least stabilize things, potentially to fire people, right? There's not enough money to run or hire CEO or general manager. A lot of times you can find those businesses and buy them with like bad reputations, right? Maybe they stopped paying suppliers or start to have like not delivering products to clients because whatever their situation is. So you need to be willing to accept that if you want to go and jump into the water. So if you're willing to do those deals, you can close them really fast. And like I said, you can go them and buy them for literally $1 because you're doing the business owner a favor. You can inherit debt, like all the liabilities, and I'm going to show you how to protect your downside because you got to do that. Otherwise, you can mess things up. So as long as you know how to position yourself, find the right deals, negotiate those deals, and then know what to do to turn them around, you can take a business that may be doing $1 million a year in sales and making no profit if you know how to turn it around and potentially pivot it, because right now everyone is in lockdown. So if the business is somehow connected to being in a lockdown, and you can maybe pivot it to more of an online business, which I'm going to get to later. Like I'm looking at a lot of gyms, for example, are in a shutdown right now, but then I see a lot of gym owners or personal trainers are making a lot of money by taking all their clients online, right? And still taking pretty much the same amount of money, but doing lessons online. So that could be a great pivot if you are willing to go and do the work, renegotiate the lease agreement, fire whoever isn't needed in the business, and then move things online. That's just one idea, right? So if you're willing to go and do the dirty work like that, like I said, you can get those businesses for pretty much free. And I'm going to show you how to protect your downside as well. So that's the general idea, the intro. And now I'm going to dive into literally each step of the process on how you should do it right now to go out there and buy those businesses. And I'm telling you, if you're going to be committed and you're willing to do the work, a lot of you will be literally able to buy a business within a week, because I'm going to show you in a bit. You don't even need to do due diligence when you close those businesses. You can literally just go buy them because you don't have any risk. When you put no money, you buy it for $1, there's no risk. You can do your due diligence after you close the deal. So you can go buy the business really fast. You tell the seller, hey, look, we got to close the deal. Otherwise, there won't be any business here to turn around. Let's do the deal right away. And then I'm going to show you in a second how that works. So I am going to start a little bit with mindset, because in the end of the day, I think it's more about mindset than anything else. By the way, before I move on, any question before we get started with kind of like the step-by-step? because I don't want to try to keep it as engaging as possible, although I do have a full session here. Just put something in the chat, show me that you can at least hear me. You know, I'm not talking to myself. That'll help me. Yep, can you guys still hear me? Everything as well? Because I see no messages in the chat. Just want to make sure we're good. Yep, I'm gonna get to it. Awesome, sweet. Don't worry, I'm gonna go through all of the steps. Thank you. So it looks like there's just a small delay with the chat. Sweet. So first of all, I'm gonna go through it real fast, go through the mindset lesson in the program because I think it's super crucial, but I'm going to go through it really fast so you understand. In the end of the day, it's on you guys. I'm not, you know, no one can do the work for you. No one can save you. No one is coming to save you. This is the time for you to put your blinders on. A lot of people are going to tell you, hey, it's impossible. You can't do that. But nothing is impossible. Nothing is possible before you do it for the first time. Even when you ride, you know, first time you go and try to swim, like it's difficult. Like you just need to jump to the water and give it a try and trust. In the end of the day, the process works. It's not like I invented buying businesses and mergers and acquisitions. You know, people are buying businesses for ages. So it's about you trusting that the process works and just jump into the water and understanding that you'll find the answers when you jump into the water, and then you could rewatch this lesson or all the other lessons in the program and learn that way. I'm going to get to it, Ari, but when you buy distressed businesses, again, and I'm going to show you how to protect yourself, but if you're buying it with an SPV, separate entities that are not using your name, then you don't have any downside. So even if you find out that there's a lot of lawsuits, etc., after that, then worst case, you liquidate the business and you shut it down. And I'm not saying that we're going into a business with that attitude. We're going in order to save it, but just so you understand, there's no downside. The reason to even do the due diligence is usually when you raise capital, right? So for financiers won't even give you any capital if they're not doing due diligence, and they know that you made sure that there's no lawsuits and things like that, right? So usually the reason we even do a longer due diligence is for the capital that you raise. Just to give you an idea, right? Common wisdom said you got to have, 8, 12 weeks due diligence, That's mostly for you to have access to capital. But if you're not raising capital from banks, financial partners, any of those things, you don't have any downside. Worst case, you liquidate the business, and if you protect yourself behind SPVs or LLCs or LTDs, depends where you are in the world, whatever the name for that is, and ideally between two separate entities, then there's no downside, and I'm going to get to it. Anyway, blinders on, write your goals. If your goals is to buy a business, let's say you want to buy one business in the next month, 2, 3, 5, 6, whatever, write it down. What's your goal? I want to own one business, and write down how you're going to feel. And daily remind yourself how you're going to feel like if and when you own that business. Put yourself in that state. The more you're going to feel that way, the more your conversations, even with people, are going to come from a different place of certainty, place of comfort, place of I need to be here. I'm worthy of being here. Focus, guys. Don't start, I don't know, Shopify business and social media. I don't know. Like, you're here, give it a fucking fair try. Go out there and focus. Make it your one thing. There's a great book, Essentialism. There's another great book, The One Thing. Focus, guys. Fucking focus, right? Another great important thing. Production versus consumption. If all you're doing all day long is being on YouTube, watching podcasts, listening to podcasts, reading books, whatever it is that you're doing to learn, even if it's good learning, it's not good. You're not going to get results. Like, you're here in the program, give this program a first chance. Watch it, binge watch it, and then go and implement. And then re-watch it when you're implementing, because I swear to God, you're going to learn some new stuff when you're going to implement, right? For me, ideally, if I have something that is important to do, first thing in the morning, do it. Eat the frog, right? Eat that frog, book by Brian Tracy. Do the most important thing first, the difficult thing first, then the rest of your day is going to be much easier, right? For us, what are the most important things to do? Talk to sellers, talk to financial partners, make offers. And in this case, when we're talking about distressed deals, we won't even need to talk to financial partners. But obviously talk to them, because you don't know, many of those deals are still going to be good deals. So have financial partners around you. Make offers. Talk to sellers. If I had to pick your one thing, it's got to be one of those 3 things when you start the program. If you're not sure what you need to do, go and watch the training. right? 4 things max, right? Make commitments, keep yourself accountable, right? Track and punish yourself. That's why I support you. I tell you in the program, and go and watch the program, of course, if you didn't yet. But I think this is going to be a great start for you if you didn't watch the program yet. But go post in the Facebook group. There's a lot of small nuances in the program. Go watch through it all. I'm sharing with you years of experience. Jeff sharing with you years of experience. Go and post in the Facebook group. Find yourself a dream team. Find yourself an accountability team. Tell yourself, I'm going to talk to whatever, 100 companies this week. I'm going to call them, letter them. I'm going to go through the details in a bit. If you're telling yourself, hey, I'm going to talk to 100 companies this week, and you're not doing it in the end of the week, you didn't do it, punish yourself, burn money, do something. It got to be painful. Otherwise, you're going to be like, fuck it, I'm good. You know, you're stuck in your comfort. And there's nothing wrong about it, but if you want different results, you got to step outside your comfort. Daily consistent action. This is about consistently daily. Put 1, 2, 3 hours a day, as much as you can. It's more important to do that versus have like a one-time sprint and every 1 month you tell me, hey, I just did 10 hours of work this month. Focus on actions versus results. So if you tell yourself, I want to buy one business in the next year, focus on the actions that get you there. Don't focus on, hey, oh shit, I want to buy a business. Why am I not buying a business? Ask yourself instead, what are the actions I need to take? Why the fuck I'm not taking the actions I need to take? What are the actions? Which is talking to sellers, talk to financial partners, make offers, right? Focus on that. Make that your goal. Keep yourself accountable for actions, not for results. Because results are not on you. Actions are on you. You are responsible for your actions, not for your results. And a great quote that I like, success isn't owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every day. You're not becoming successful and stay there forever. You're in a downward hill all your fucking life. You either go up or you slide down. So daily, you got to wake up and rent is due. Uncertainty, uncomfortable, being uncomfortable, fear is okay, all those things. Of course, it's going to be uncomfortable for you. Of course, you're going to be scared. Of course, you're going to say, fuck it, I want to give up. I'm going back to my comfort. In the end of the day, success is in direct proportion to the uncertainty that you can embrace. You got to jump into the unknown and trust that you are worthy, trust that you are enough, trust that you can get there. The more you're going to trust yourself, the better you'll be. I'm giving you everything so you'll have more confidence to step into the unknown, to jump into the water. But in the end of the day, you got to jump. I can't jump into the unknown for you. I can't jump into the water for you. You got to trust. It's like, when you're a little kid and you jump into fucking water from like in whatever I'm thinking of something scary that all of us had to do when we were young, jump from somewhere. It's like everyone can jump before you and show you, yeah, it's cool, it's fun, but there's a point in your life where you got to jump yourself. You got to trust that you'll be fine. And in business, you got to do it again and again and again and again and jump and almost, it's almost like an internal suicide that you got to have on a daily basis, and trust that you'll be fine. Trust that you won't die. Trust something. If you believe in God, in spirit, whatever, trust. Don't worry, you'll be fine. You're not going to die from calling, again, from talking to financial partners, talking to sellers, making offers. You won't die, but you got to jump in there because it's easier said than done. And be okay with failure, imperfect action, fail your way to success. If you're not failing, ask yourself, did I fail this week? What did I do? What kind of failures did I have last week? If you're not failing, you're not taking enough action, period. If someone didn't tell you to fuck off or that he hates you and your offer, you're just not taking enough action, period. Right? And I guess that's giving you an idea on why we're even making those $1 offers. Just give it a try. Some people just want out. And come from a place of help, add value to people, If you're coming to those business owners like, dude, fuck you, your business sucks, give me your business, fuck you. Why would anyone give you? But if you're coming from a place to help, to add value, then you can definitely get those deals. A lot of you guys, and I know like it's interesting to say that, but a lot of you guys probably are not eating well. You're not sleeping well. Sleep at the same time every day. Sleep the amount of hours you need. I don't know anyone who can live on 3-4 hours a day that I know in person who is actually sane. Seriously, I don't know. I know that for me, I gotta go to sleep same time every day. I gotta eat good food. I gotta do my meditations, take my vitamins, Dopamine. You gotta, you know, let go fucking anything that's giving you notifications. If you have notifications on your phone, on your laptop, get rid of it. If you have social media on your phone, go and delete it right now. Delete your Facebook, your Instagram, everything that's giving you a notification, get rid of it. It's freaking destroying your life. You can't get focused this way. Sweet, I'm gonna move on. I don't wanna make it a fucking mindset video, but it's so crucial. In the end of the day, it's fucking crucial. Cool. Any question in the meantime, before I move to the next bullet? No questions, or it's just again a delay. So first question people asking is like, why the fuck, why would someone sell me the business, right? Few reasons: legacy, employees, like they're embarrassed, right? And this should be to fire. They're embarrassed that all those employees, some of them worked with them for 5, 10, 20 plus years. They don't want to fire them. They feel bad. They don't want to be the bad guy. They have debts, they have liabilities, or like, fuck it, I made enough money in my life, or I'm like, fuck it, I want to retire. Maybe they're divorcing. Right now with the coronavirus, businesses are just fucking going down. There's just no cash flow. So that alone could be for some of those baby boomers, like, fuck it, I don't want to, they're like, I don't want it. It's like, it's too difficult. I don't want to work so hard to get things back up. I don't want to wait. I don't know if someone can take it from me, can take the, you know, take it away from me. I don't need to be the bad guy. He can deal with firing the employees. He could go and I can just tell everyone, hey, I've done my best. I sold this business to this guy. He's going to do his best, but it's not going to be on me to fire people. And if you're going to come in and tell them, look, man, I'm going to do whatever I can to save your business, to protect your legacy, to take care of the employees, that's all you need. So keep it simple. Don't think that you need like a crazy, I don't know what. But if you'll start having enough conversations with business owners, you'll see that a lot of them just want to sell their business. And they just look for the person that they like and trust enough. So that's why I have this. The best way to get someone to give you his business for free is to get him to like you. In the end of the day, it's a relationship business first. Help first, relationship game first. People always ask me with brokers, with business owner, why the fuck the business owner is not responding to me, or the broker is not giving a shit about me. Look, man, if you think that you're going to message, you're going to download hundreds of information memorandums from broker websites and you're going to do deals this way, sorry, this is not this game. The game of business, fine businesses, is relationships. The more you're going to get to know a person, to like a person, to get him to like you, the better. The more conversations you're going to have. Meetings, obviously now it's difficult to do meetings, but you can do everything on Zoom and Skype. But have more conversations, get in, you know, be interested in that person versus interesting. Ask questions, be there to listen. Don't be like, hey dude, fuck you, give me your business for free. No one talk that way. No one's doing business this way. Be nice, care about someone. Check what are their problems, you know, see if you can provide solutions. And sometimes you put in your time is the only solution that they need. Someone who care about them, who show them, hey, I'm going to do my best. I care about you. I'll be here for you. You know, I'll try to protect your legacy. I'll work hard 24/7 to make sure your employees are fine. I'll be in the business 24/7. You know, value, value, value. Always think, how can I add value first in life in general, not just business. Any question before I move to positioning? Why people sell you the business? And send the questions, please, not in private, send them to everyone so everyone can see. What happens to their existing unpaid loan to the bank? How do we make sure we can pay the loan if we didn't receive any finance to buy the business? I'm going to get to it, but in general, so that your question is what happens to their existing unpaid loan? Obviously, if there's liabilities and debt to the business, you can go in. You need to go in, and you by you taking over the liabilities, that's one of your selling proposition. Hey, let me go in. I'll take the liabilities. I'll do my best to turn around the business. And yes, it's going to be part of the something you need to handle. And I'm going to show you at the bottom after we buy the business. I'm going to get to it in the end of the call. Is what you do after you close the deal. How do you turn it around? How do you make sure that you can pay those liabilities and different loans and debts that you have to different, you know, suppliers or banks or whatever? We're going to get to it. But any questions, please ask me questions about the steps. And trust me, look, we have a lot of pages. So we're going to go through each step. Don't worry. So next question, everyone's asking me, how do I position myself? I don't know how to position myself. Why would anyone take me seriously, right? Yeah, you got to learn how to position yourself. In the end of the day, if you don't know how to position yourself as someone who's reliable, someone they can trust, then it's going to be difficult, right? So the first thing you got to do, you got to learn how to position yourself, right? How to make sure that they take it serious, how to know that you can go there and have enough confidence and comfort to talk to them. So the way to do it is, first of all, you're saying that there are a few ways to position yourself. One of them is just, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, I'm looking to help entrepreneurs. I have some, whatever your knowledge is, use it to your advantage. So if you're an engineer, if you're a marketing guy, if you're a finance guy, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I have background in whatever, finance, marketing, whatever is your background. And I'm looking to buy businesses. I'm looking to invest in businesses. I'm looking to help entrepreneurs. Whatever you feel comfortable with, it doesn't matter. In the end of the day, you gotta, tell them, yeah, I'm looking to buy you, right? So don't hide your intention. Obviously, share your intentions out there, but there's few ways you can position yourself in the initial conversation. I'm an investor, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm looking for joint ventures. It doesn't matter. Everything can work if you believe in it. So for me, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm an investor, I'm an entrepreneur. It doesn't really matter. What matters is what you say after that. How you position yourself in a way that shows, hey, I care about you. I position yourself in a way that shows, hey, I'm a reliable buyer. I'm a worthy buyer. I have skills. And by you being in this program, by you just watching this video, you'll have the skills. You will have the skills to turn around any business. So it's about, are you going to have enough confidence and you're going to be comfortable enough to know that this is all you need? I'm going to give you everything here, right? So it's about your comfort. Are you going to be okay with that? Investor, all of you guys are investors. You're either investing your time, value, skills that you have, or money. And other people, money counts. I don't care. Show me the richest people in the world. They're not just using their own money, and they're investors. And let me just show you a cool story that I like on how to show you that you are investors and can get access to capital. Is that it all depends on the deal. If you have a good deal, you'll find access to capital if you think it's the deal of the century. For example, if I told you today, hey, I have a Ferrari to give you, I got to sell it right away. Dude, I need to sell it so fast. I'll get it to you for $10,000, but you got to give me this $10,000 by Wednesday, right? Ferrari that you know worth $250,000. And at the same time, what if I also told you that I need to sell you that car, and then in a different state, I have a buyer for you to buy it for $300,000. You just need to go and take it. I just can't. I just got to sell it to you right now because whatever, I need to do something with the money right away. Are you going to be able to raise $200,000, $300,000 in 2-3 days? If you know for a fact you already have a buyer, or you know what, let me give you a week. Are you going to be able to do that? If you are resourceful enough and you trust yourself enough and you're like, fuck it, I'll do whatever it takes, you're going to be able to find a way, even if it's by going out there to the streets. Or now you can't really go to the streets, but you're going to do whatever calls you need to do to get that money. Why? Because you know the Ferrari is worth it, and because you know you already have a buyer to buy that for you for a lot more money. So the question you need to ask yourself is, how much do you believe in yourself, in the deal that you're going to do, the same way that you will believe in the Ferrari deal? That's how you need to look at deals. And the reason for you to believe in your deal as much as the Ferrari is because you need to see yourself as a Ferrari. You need to see yourself as worthy, because you're putting your time, you're putting your effort. That alone is worth a Ferrari, right? That's how you need to see it. Yeah, and if you have an existing business, you can always say, I'm an existing business owner in X, and I'm looking to grow it by acquisitions, by buying similar businesses or complementary businesses, or just diverse myself into different sectors. That's the way you position yourself. In the end of the day, I found out there's so many ways you can position yourself, and there's no one way fits all. There are many ways, many roads to the top of the mountain. It's what you're comfortable with, right? Don't look for me to tell you word by word what to do. You need to trust yourself. You're all capable, guys. You are all worthy. You are all good enough. I'm sharing you what worked for me, what lessons I learned in my life. But in the end of the day, it's on you. You got to go out there and trust yourself. And like I said, jump into the unknown and believe in yourself, and understand that, it's okay. Believe in it. And if you don't believe in yourself enough, go with what you have and fail, and go out there and fail and fail and fail. Because if you're not failing, you're just not growing. You're just thinking, you're thinking that you're growing, but you're not. You're just afraid to take action. So just jump into the water and be okay with failure. Again, if you're not failing on a weekly basis, you're just not taking enough action. Positioning. When you go to those businesses right now with all the coronavirus, you got to position yourself as the good guy, as someone who's out there to save the day. And again, if you think it's going to work for you to position yourself as this fucking asshole business owner, entrepreneur is trying to buy businesses and destroy everyone, give it a try. For me, it never worked. I don't think works. And especially if you read The Diamond Cutter and Karmic Management, you understand my way of looking at life. I believe that by you coming in as the good guy, as the safe pair of hands, as someone who's going to take care of whatever problems the person had. And like I said, many times, all you need to do is just be there and listen to them and just be there for them and spend your time with them to show them you care in order to literally buy those businesses for them. And yes, certainty is everything. Remember, why not you? I mean, at the end of the day, there are so many businesses out there suffering right now. You can go out there and by the fact that you here in this program invested in yourself, you are worthy of owning those businesses. Your time is value, your time is money. And by you going out there and even willing to put yourself out there in front of those business owners, you are worthy of being that owner. And one big important thing is that if some of you guys already had conversations with business owners, you got to position yourself as a problem solver and not as a blank check. Because initially, when you position yourself as a business buyer, investor, some people look at you and they're like, oh, there you go. Here's the guy who's going to put money into my business without knowing what the fuck we even got going on here. So be careful from those deals, especially if they're fast growing companies. Those guys don't need your help. They just look for money in order to grow their business faster, right? So you don't look for those deals. Look for businesses who are kind of like stabilize or grow slower or have super motivated sellers. Those are the people you need. You're not looking to go to Uber right now, you know, or Uber, any business is not a good idea right now, literally with what the fuck's going on in the world. But you're not looking to business who's growing like this, like 10x a year and be their business buyer. They're not looking for those people. They're just looking for capital to grow faster. So understand what's the difference and understand how as quickly as possible how to find out if that someone is just looking for a blank check from you basically, or for some or if it's someone who actually have problems. And at the same time, be careful, because many times entrepreneurs, business owners usually always think that money is their solution. But many times there's a leaking bucket, that the fundamentals of business are so bad that many times you putting more money into this leaking bucket is not good. So you need to fix fundamentals first. But you, with your eyes, with the skills that you're learning here and in the full program, you need to see the difference. You need to see, okay, the guy wants $500,000, but why he wants that? What's the real problem in the business, right? So pay attention to those things. And your goal, whenever you're having conversation, is to find problems and then to find solutions with your offer, to provide solutions with your offer. In terms of websites, your positioning, I suggest you at least have like a premium email, you know, so you won't send emails from a Gmail. I don't think it's looking professional. So just first idea to begin with. And I'm talking about it in the full program. It can be as simple as your website with your name, or it can be whatever company name you want to pick. Please don't spend more than 10 minutes on picking your company name. It doesn't fucking matter. And yeah, premium email or website, you can say, yeah, we are, or I am an investor looking for acquisitions in X sector. Or if you don't feel comfortable with knowing the sector, delete that. If you don't know, for me, I don't know how to build websites. I'm just freaking outsource. I just like to outsource everything. So go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, write in Facebook groups. I'm sure people could help you build a website with like $50 nowadays if it's just a simple template. Don't make it more complicated than that, please, guys. People underestimate simplicity. Probably the biggest thing you can do to yourself is keep things simple. Everything is simple in life. The more simple you're going to keep things, the better. Even nuclear science is actually simple. From someone that I talked to, it's simple. It comes down to a few principles that you got to follow again and again and again and again. Cool. Now, in terms of niche sector, how do you pick your industry? Ideally, pick something you know about, or just be sector agnostic. Please, please don't overcomplicate things. This is probably the biggest question I'm getting: what sector to pick? I'm worried about my sector. I don't know what's my website. I don't know what's my sector. Please, please, please. And yeah, Ari, thank you for sending the website. So yeah, please, guys, don't overthink about a sector. Ideally, pick a sector that you can add value in. But in the end of the day, what matters is the fundamentals of business. Do you understand about cash flow, about numbers? Do you have a vision? Do you have the right people? Do you know how to lead people, which I'm going to go through later as well? in the end of the day, if you know the fundamentals of business, this is much bigger than having a sector skill. But obviously, if you have background in a sector, if you have like 10, 20 years background in a sector, then consider that, right? And in terms of deal size, ideally look for 500 to 5 million in revenues. Bigger businesses, a lot of time you'll just have competitors, private equity firms, which means they have a lot of money. So it's going to be more difficult to compete with them. But at the same time, I'm not going to be the person to hold you back. If you want to go and give it a try, go for it. I'm just sharing again based on my experience. Smaller deals going to be difficult as well, because many times it's going to be one-man show. And you want a team, you want something that you can actually play with. You know, you actually have a balance that you can work with and turn things around, which I'm going to get to later. But in the end of the day, again, those are my suggestions. Go and do as you wish. Not sure which sector, go all in, and over time find what not. So if you're not sure, if you're like, oh, Moran, I'm still not sure about my sector, please, guys, please keep it simple. This is the biggest question I'm getting, and I'm just frustrated to see. It's like you're literally like, you're not sure what sector to pick, so you're getting overwhelmed and procrastinate on the sector just because you don't want to take any action. Fuck it. You're not sure what sector to pick. Let's make a decision. If you're watching this video now or in the replay, let's make a decision to pick a sector today. So the way to do it, think about your contacts, right? So let's do this. Think about your contacts, your experience, and your passion, right? Think about the first 1, 2, 3 sectors that come up to your mind, write it down. Then imagine you have a gun pointing to your head. I'm pointing a gun to your head right now, and I'm asking you, hey, what's the right sector for you? What is the answer? I'm going to kill you and your family and everyone you love unless you're going to pick a sector right now. What's the sector going to be? You picked one, great. Keep that sector. If you're still unsure, just go sector agnostic. Go all in on every deal you can find. That's another way to do it, right? Just remember, as long as you have fundamentals of business, which we're going to go, we're going to obviously going through in the full program, but you're going to go through later here today, then it's okay to just decide, you know what, I'm going to pick any, I'm going to shoot into the, shoot into the wild forest, and then hopefully I'm going to find the pasta sticking on the wall. That's okay as well. And obviously, as you're talking to business owners, you can decide what you don't want to deal with. That's another way, and it's all good. But please, speak, doesn't matter. And yeah, just adjust as you go. Please don't spend more than like 10 minutes a day on just deciding what sector to pick. You're not sure what sector to pick, just pick all of them and run all in, and then decide as you go. If you get an offer accepted, just decide, you know what, do I want this deal, yes or no? And you can decide, no, you know what, I don't want it. But I'd rather you have an offer accepted and stop and be like, you know what, I don't want to be in the sector, than not start at all. Please, just don't overthink things. Simplify. Next steps, how to find deals. Everyone, any question here? Any thoughts about the sector, please? Because I know that's one of the biggest questions I'm getting from you guys or everyone who messages me all the time. Please don't overcomplicate things. Any questions on that before I move to how to find deals? I assume there's no questions, right? Sweet. Or I'm just not seeing the chat, but yeah, it looks like there's no questions. So cool. Okay, so how to find deals. First, remember it's numbers game. All this business is numbers game and a relationship game. If you had to ask me, hey, Moran, what's the 2 important skills to have when you're buying businesses? Is first, understand it's numbers game. Second, to understand it's a relationship game. The more you can build relationships, and to build a relationship, you don't need to be a freaking Casanova. You just need to be there and listen to people. That's it. If you're able to listen to people, you can get deals done. If you can care about people, you can get deals done. And numbers game, and consistent, be consistent, daily, jump into the water, talk to business owners, make offers, talk to financial partners, keep it simple, right? And trust me, I can super complicate the lessons for you and the program, and giving you like fucking crazy modules and numbers to look at and make it all sophisticated and cool, but it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you get results. It's going to overcomplicate things for you. So please don't think that you need to have like a Harvard degree. Yeah, you can go and pay $100,000 at Harvard, but they're only going to teach you theory. I'm going to show you things that are fucking working. for me and all of our clients that you're seeing results like crazy nowadays. Anyway, numbers game. Aim to build like your goal in mind is like I said, focus on actions. What are the actions? Talk to 100 companies, talk to 100 people, build relationships with those people, have daily conversations. At my peak, I was having, I swear to God, like 10, 15 calls a day, conversations a day. Go all in. And leverage what's working right now, right? A lot of people want to reinvent the wheel. Use tech, use social media. I'm going to go through that, but use things that are working right now. Use the script that is proven. I'm going to attach to the recording all the scripts, but they're all in the program. The script for the deal flow is in the deal flow module, but I'm going to attach it again to the replay, so you'll have it all there as well. And yeah, and add. So what you can do is use the script that we have and just add your own, personality on it. Add your own unique words to it. It's all good. But you don't want to test things from scratch. You don't want to rebuild everything from scratch. Like, trust the process. Those things work. Best way probably to find deals, if you had to pick one, is if you have the network. Go and open your phone, scroll through it, ask yourself, who is a business owner, who's connected to business owners, who I can talk to on the phone and just ask, hey man, I want to talk, I want to see what's up, I want to ask, how's it going? Social media, can you post on your social media? Can you message people? Hey, how's it going? I thought you might be, someone who can help me find it. Maybe as a business owner, just go and ask, hey man, just wanted to ask, how are you doing? I know you're a business owner. I know you run in company, ABC company. Man, I just wanted to reach out and see how you're doing with this crazy coronavirus situation right now. Go out there, ask people how they're doing right now in this craziness. Call people. Obviously, I like events are the fucking best. The best way is to build rapport with people, also obviously face to face. All right, but I'm gonna get to it. But in the end of the day, now use Zoom this way, build rapport this way, have video calls. So use social media. If you're a business owner, check your receivables, your debtors, see what companies you have there, what suppliers, what companies maybe struggle that you can just call and see, hey man, just wanted to reach out and see how you're doing. That's the way to close deals. It's not about calling and be like, hey man, how are you? Just wanted to ask if you're doing at least $500,000 a year. Are you looking to sell your business for 100% seller financing? No, fuck you, dude. Who the fuck will sell the business this way? Right? Go build rapport, ask for help, ask how they're doing. That's the way to do business. People do business with people they like and trust. The way to get them trust you is to get to know them, is to ask them, is to be interested, not interesting, don't be an asshole. Obviously, you can talk to professionals, accountants, lawyers, wealth managers, factoring companies, all those different companies. Think who's in touch with business owners. Accountants, lawyers, they probably know what's going on in the business better than the wife of the owner of the business. If someone wants to sell their business, they're going to talk to accountants, lawyers probably first. Same with wealth managers, manufacturing companies, to call them, say, hey, how's it going? Just want to reach and see what's up. See maybe if you have clients who might be open to sell right now or just need help. Compile a list. I like to do it very much, is go to Upwork or Fiverr and look for database. Just buy database. You can tell them, hey, I want companies in that sector or that size, and if you remember, those are private companies. They're not promoting, they're not sharing their private numbers online. You're not gonna find P&Ls of private companies most likely online, unless for some reason they share it. But you can go and look for clues, see how many employees they have, go and just call the owner, and ask them over time, hey, by the way, I'd love to see if we can help, but we can only help companies doing between about $500,000 in sales. Are you guys there? Just ask. Don't be afraid. How do you find more deals? Companies like Endel, Dun & Bradstreet, Hoover's. There are bad credit check firms right now that you can go and just Google and check. And if they have bad credit, you can potentially reach out and try to help as well, especially nowadays. And nowadays, I swear to God, if this shit's going to continue, every company is going to be in a distress situation. I'm talking especially companies who are, have anything to do with the shutdowns and are affected by the shutdown. So you don't even need the credit check. Like, I swear to God, if things are going to continue as is, everyone's going to be in some kind of a distress situation or need help. So keep that in mind as well. And remember, it's a relationship game. It's a marketing game. It's a few touch points game. So the way I think you should approach it is, you can send letters and like I said, we're going to provide a script that you can use for letters, for emails, send letters, ideally home address. And like I said, for me, I just like to buy the database. It costs me whatever, a few cents per line of data. A lot of them will give you their phone number, their address, their email, everything you just asked for. So in an ideal scenario, touch all of those points, right? Send letter, reach out on Facebook. You can even do some ads. If those of you who want to do ads, just go to Facebook advertising and promote an ad and say something like, hey, I'll buy your business. I'll make you an offer next week. You know, give it a try. I know we have clients who get a lot of success with that. But it's up to you. Do you want to spend money? If you don't want to spend money, use the cheaper one like letters, or just go to LinkedIn and connect with people and send them a message privately. At least 50% of people you're going to connect with on LinkedIn are going to accept your request. You can cold call, you know, again, call for help. Hey, wanted to reach out. We're all in shutdown. Just wanted to see if we can help. Just wanted to tell you about me. This is what I'm up to. This is my background. Share your story a little bit. Man, just want to reach out and see if I can help. This is what I do. I help entrepreneurs. I also buy businesses, invest in businesses, whatever you feel comfortable sharing about yourself, but go out there, put yourself out there, have conversations. I like email very much as well because you can automate it a little bit. There's a software that I like. You can just put in a database here and just automate your emails to people, and always follow up. You never know when someone's gonna be back to you and actually be willing to do a deal right away, right? So I had people messaging me back, I swear to God, like a year or two after I reached out to them, right? So don't be afraid to follow up. Just after a month, 3, 6, be like, hey man, just want to reach out, see how you're doing. All right, that's it. Keep it simple, guys. Brokers, a lot of you are asking for brokers. Like I said in the main program, I don't like brokers. I think there's many times conflict of interest. A lot of them just ask for flat fees from their owners, from the business sellers, plus they're promising them like premium. Premium. I'm gonna get you a question in a second, agency. Plus, brokers are promising premium amounts. They're like, hey man, they're going to sell us like, hey, come and sell your business with me. Pay me $5,000 a month, plus I'll take a percentage, 5, 10, whatever they negotiate of the purchase price, and I believe I can get you 10 times multiples on your EBITDA, right? And in the end of the day, they care less about their exit. They care more about their retainer. And that's why many times I don't like brokers. And again, there are some good out there, but in a general rule, I don't like them. You want to go for businesses who are not for sale. You want to go for businesses who have no competition with you, right? You don't want to be the only, but in the end of the day, we have a lot of clients who bought businesses from brokers. So there are good out there. I would say keep this as a minimum. Like if they're listed for at least 6 months with a broker, I would say give it a try, because then it means that the seller is kind of frustrated, the broker is like frustrated, the contract is about to end. Usually they sign exclusivity with the broker. So those are good times to actually try some of the creative structures that we have. And yeah, with brokers, you can always negotiate with them, right? So if they're asking for a lot of money, just be like, look, man, I'll pay you more on the commission, but I want to defer it over time, right? And with brokers, like everyone, guys, please don't do this business on email, right? A lot of people are messaging me. They're like, hey, why the broker is not paying attention to the blah, blah, blah? Because you didn't fucking talk to him, right? You just emailed him, and his job is to filter people like you who are not serious, who are pretty much not a qualified buyer. The way to become a qualified buyer is to get on the phone, is to share your stories, to tell about you, is to position yourself as someone who is doing them a favor to even work with you, right? And you can always say, they're like, hey, what about that? I'll be like, dude, look, man, I'll provide proof of funds even when I make an offer. Right now, I don't even know if I want this deal. That should be your attitude. I don't even know if I want this deal yet. It's like when you're going to buy a house, you know, you're not going to make an offer in a house before you saw it. Same here. You want to see the numbers first. And NDAs, I don't have problems with that with the NDA. I found out, like, in the end of the day, you can leave it empty as long as you position yourself well with the broker on the phone or in a meeting face to face. You'll be fine. But in the end of the day, when you talk to brokers, just be a baller in a quote. You know what I mean? Just be like, leave it empty. Be like, look, man, I have the money. It's not a problem. We have debt, equity, all those different types of financing. But in the end of the day, I don't even know if the deal is for me. I'll provide proof of funds. You can make it, even if and when I make an offer. Right now, I need to see the numbers to see if I even want to work on this deal, right? That's how you handle brokers. Only on the phone, only on meetings. Don't deal with them on emails. If you just email them like, hey, give me a number, they're like, fuck you, I don't know you, right? Who the fuck are you that I'll give you a number? You email me from a random Gmail. And you know, next thing is you telling them I'm from Nigeria. And you know, they're like, that's their work, to filter people like you. So pay attention to that. So that's brokers. Goals: get on the phone, meeting with the owner, and book a longer call. So yeah, your goal, in the end of the day, your goal in those conversations, in those letters, is to either get them to call you, and ideally, if they call me, I like to reschedule it, so I keep the positioning in a good way. It's like, hey, they talk to me like, hey, did you send me a letter? I'm like, yeah, it's a bad time, can we reschedule for tomorrow? Then I just like to keep my positioning better. And either way, your initial conversation is just about to build rapport, to ask them about them. I'm going to get to it in a bit. To ask them about that. In our, by the way, in the perfect meeting, in the full course, there's a full questions you can ask business owners. And what I was about to say. Oh, so your goal with those calls is to tell them, and I think I'm going to get to that in a second. Yes, I'm going to get to that. Your goal is, by the end of the day, is to sign an NDA. And remember, the NDA is not for you, it's for them. It's for them to feel comfortable. If this seller don't want to sign an NDA, you don't have to. It's not for you. You know what I mean? It's for them. So if you feel like he's not comfortable, you can always say like, look, I'm happy to sign an NDA for you to feel comfortable sharing your numbers. Happy to provide my template, which we provided to you guys in the program. Or if you want, send me whatever you have. Guys, sign NDAs. NDAs are freaking, I don't like to say it, but they're not worth the paper you sign on. Literally, no one will sue you for an NDA. You probably won't sue anyone for an NDA. I'm sorry, but that's unfortunately the case. The NDA is just something that is common to do in this business space, you know, just to share information. So remember, if the seller don't care about signing an NDA, you shouldn't care either. You just want to see the financials. So yeah, the goal: get on the phone, get on the meeting with the owner, and book longer meetings, ideally after you see some financials as well. So any other questions before I move into some part of the negotiations? But question from Jancy: maybe I'm done, but I've been testing to get databases of businesses for sale with Fiverr, but maybe I just don't formulate the question good enough. I get the same data that is on the broker website and back to the same, got stopped by the amount proof, and then I just got stuck. Yeah, first of all, you probably just email them. Second of all, you don't need a database of brokers. Third of all, like I said, that's one of the reasons I just don't like brokers. You're dealing with assholes a lot of time, and many times you emailing them back and forth is not the way to get it done. So the way to go through the broker gatekeeper is to position yourself as someone who is a credible buyer. The way to do that is not to show how much money you have in your bank account. It's quite the opposite. If you have money in your bank account, the last thing you're going to do is to show people how much money you have in your bank account. But it's just to speak with a lot of confidence and certainty and be like, look, man, I'm not here to waste your time or mine. Trust me. I wouldn't spend a fucking minute on you on the phone if I wouldn't be serious about this deal. So are you going to share with me the numbers? Yes or no? If not, I can move on. But at the end of the day, I'm going to provide you proof of funds if and when I make an offer. And if it's a deal that's required for you to raise capital, I'm going to get to it in a second. You're going to go and talk to financial partners, institutions, and get expressions of interest for finance for them that you can then use to the broker. Brokers are not the ways to get $1 down deals. Many times, not even 100% seller financing deals. Because remember, they work on commission. They work on cash at closing and retainer. Unless you are able to convince the broker to get a really amazing upside by you potentially giving him another bonus, then most likely you won't get 100% seller financing or earnouts or things like that with brokers. Hence why I just don't recommend brokers. Again, unless it's a deal that is listed for a long, long time, and then they're giving up already and they'll be open for more opportunities. So I hope that makes sense. And then when you build a database when you buy a database of companies, you don't necessarily need them to be for sale. You don't want companies for sale. You just want any company. And after you have conversations with those owners, you find out if they actually have some motivation to go out of the business. And many times, no one even reached out to them so far with that opportunity. You're the first one. And they're like, holy shit, someone want to buy my business? I want to run away. Amazing, right? Those are the deals you want. Not deals that are already listed with brokers, sometimes have competitors with you on a deal. In regards to before, are you looking for gyms as potentially to buy or partner on, or just use as a transition example, how to use this situation in a positive way, like you say, convert more into big businesses? This is just an example. The gyms are just examples on things you can do right now. It's my situation. I'm not in a rush to do anything right now, unless some of you guys have an amazing opportunity and is willing to do the work and be the manager. For me right now, I'm waiting for the dust to settle before I make big moves, at least on my end. But again, the reason I'm waiting for the dust to settle is because I'm not in a position that I need money, and I'm not in a position where I have to work at all at my point. But for you guys, a lot of you guys never done deals before and want opportunity to make money. This is the opportunity for you to go out there and buy businesses for $1 down, or 100% seller financing, or 100% earnouts, to do work. Obviously you'll work. I'm at a point to be more of a passive investor, because I just want to invest money versus just do work. But for you guys, a lot of you are looking to do work versus have money and just want to invest it. So if you want to do the work, this is the best time for you to go out there, buy those businesses, get your hands dirty, go into those businesses, turn them around, and get them better, or at least back to where they were before in terms of profitability and cash flow. Do you think automotive is going to recover? Which sector would you avoid completely now? I'm going to go through how to turn around businesses in next pages. I would say after you look at the notes that I have there, when you go and look at businesses, ask yourself, what can I do with those turnaround ideas in that specific business? And if you can do those things and you think you can turn them around, I would say you can go in there. If you don't have any ideas, or you think that business is just done, then potentially I would rethink if you want to even get yourself there or not. For some of you guys, it just might be a good idea to get your hands dirty anyway, just for the experience, right? So that's another way to look at it, especially if you don't have a downside and you're just buying it for $1. And worst case, you just shut down the business and liquidate it, right? And you don't have any personal guarantees. That's okay. I'm not saying that it's the ideal scenario. In the end of the day, we have employees. We try to save their jobs, their clients. We want to do our best. But just so you know, worst case, you shut down the business, you liquidate it, and you're fine if you're going to follow the steps I'm going to share with you here. Anyway, when you go into negotiations, it's all about them, all about what they want. What is their motivation? Find win-win. Again, don't be selfish. Don't think about yourself, right? Ideally, face-to-face meetings to build more rapport. It's so much easier to build rapport face-to-face. People ask me, hey, where should I buy businesses? I'm like, start locally. If you don't want to buy businesses locally and you just want to get away from your wife or something, then you can buy businesses all over the world, right? But obviously it's going to be more challenging to build rapport with someone on the phone or on Zoom calls versus face-to-face. It just, common sense, human connection stuff. So I would say if you want and have the opportunity, start locally. Nowadays, everyone is in shutdown, so Skype and Zoom calls are a better option. Ideally, do video, stuff like that. Any way that could help you build more rapport, right? And you just, in the end of the day, you just tell them, hey, my strategy is to buy companies with a combination of debt, equity, and seller financing. But again, relationship first. And that's just a quote a sentence that I put here that you can position yourself when you talk to anyone. If anyone is asking you how you're going to finance, what you're going to do, everyone's going to ask you how you're going to pay for it. This is your answer. I'm going to use combination of debt, equity, and seller financing. That's it, simple. And it's good to say seller financing right off the bat, from the get-go, because it just when you say seller financing, you can look at the seller eyes and see, okay, is he even open to that? If it's not, it's like, okay, thank you, bye, right? But if it's not like, okay, fuck you, then you have something to talk about. You're at least in the ballpark. List of questions to ask, we're going to touch here, but it's basically the file in the program that we have about basic information you want to ask a business owner. That's what you want to ask in a phone call as well, but ideally just do it face-to-face. So yeah, what you want to find out is you just want to find out what they want and why they want it. So if they're telling you, yeah, I want $1 million, yes, then cool, yeah, I love it that you want $1 million. Just curious what you're going to do with it. Like, what's the goal here? What's the goal? Is the goal to go on a vacation? Is the goal to buy a car? Because if it's to buy a car, you can potentially buy the business and then pay for that car with the business cash flow on a lease. You see what I mean? Just like those simple things that might help you with different deal structures in the future. So that's why I always ask, what's the underlying motivation? Why you want this seller? Why you want this? Cool. Why? You have this problem? Cool. What do you think will happen if you're going to fix it? Why? Always find the underlying motivation. Any question before we move to the next step? There is a hotel for sale in Paris. The guy's a motivated seller. I'm sure that I can make a turnaround. It has some considerable debt. Do you think that I should go for it for my first business? Yeah, like I said, every deal is a good deal to start with. Cool, let's move to the next step. I'm gonna stop share. I'm gonna take, sorry, I muted myself. I'm gonna take a minute break, guys. I'm gonna go to the bathroom because we have a long call here, and then I'll be back in a second. If you have questions in the meantime, please put them here in the chat, and we're gonna get back and continue with it. All right, guys. Any questions so far? Do you like it? Do you even like the content so far? Let me know if you love it or hate it, so I know if we need to continue. All right, questions. All this advice, all that's why I was able to structure a deal and also get massive discounts on asking price by putting this question from perspective on solving problem together, sitting the same time. Exactly. Guys, we're doing the best way to do deals is to get them to like you and do deals on the same side of the table, is to build the offer literally together. Love it. Good stuff, Omkar. Very good content. Sure, love it. Awesome, great. Love it. Thank you, guys. What should be my strategy if I will buy business right now? That's what the full video is about, my friend Ori. So just follow the video, and if you just joined right now, rewatch it, because that's what I'm talking about, and I'm going to walk you through everything as we go, of course. So let me share my screen again. Sweet. Just want to make sure I see the chat so I see your questions. I've been trying to call business owners for a while now, but always resort to email them. How do I build a mindset to stop pushing out of calls? Get your accountability call going and pick a price that will hurt you if you're going to burn it, and tell them, look, guys, I'm going to make X amount of calls this week. If I'm not going to make it, I'm going to burn X amount of dollars. That's one way. Second way is to send them that money in advance and tell them, hey guys, send me that money back only if I'm making X amount of calls and I can prove it to you. That's the best way that I know to get shit done that you're afraid of doing. A lot of you won't do that because it's scary and you don't want to burn money, but if you want to take action, that's the way. Have you done a deal in the past where you bought the business and paid the seller strictly out of the profits of the business over time? Let's say 5 years, 50-50 profit split, and then start executing the business to the seller. Then start executing the business so the seller can move on to other things in their life. Then pay the seller from the share of the profits from the business over time. After 5 years, the business fully paid off. Is this a good strategy? Yes, it is, Adam. That's what we call seller financing. Sweet. Going to move on to the next steps then. I'm going to show you this. Cool. So here's how you do conversations with business owners, right? So right now, we learn how to pick a sector. Just fucking pick one. Pick one today. You don't know, just fucking pick everything and just go all in. We know how to find deals. We send letters, we call them, we social media them, we go to events, we ask our contacts, we do ads. We just build a pipeline. It's numbers game. The more you're going to do, the better. You want to have so much deals around you, you just follow the scripts. I'm going to touch here, follow the script for the emails, for the letters. Just go and do that. Now, some of them are going to call you back. Some of them you'll call right away and get on the phone with them. The way to interact with those people is this. First of all, just listen. Just fucking listen and ask open questions. What, where, what? Ask and listen, right? Ask them, where are you right now? What's your story? Share them about your story. Ask about top line numbers. I'm going to share with you in the basic information file, basically everything you need to ask. In module 4, in the perfect meeting, there's a lot of more questions you can ask a business owner to build rapport, to show that by literally just asking the right questions, you can position yourself as the expert. By you asking smart questions, they will say, oh shit, that person is smart. You know what to ask, right? So just follow those questions. Ask them, why you want to sell? Why now? Ask them about their goals, their wish lists, what they want to do after they sell the business, why they want to sell, what they want to do, right? Always recap, always active listen, always show them you care and listen, right? And then tell them, cool, so if you could achieve your goals, your wish list, you'd be happy? That's what you want? And find out and write down everything they're saying. Have those notes in front of you, because in the end of the day, your goals is to find out where they at, where they want to be, what's their problems, and see if you can fix them and help them with their problems by you buying their business or minority or majority or whatever the solution is. It's about finding what they want, where they want to be, what's their problems, and see if by you coming into the table, you can provide solutions. And again, we're going to go through very, very soon on ways to turn around the business. And by you learning how to listen, by you finding what's their problems, and then looking here on how to turn around business and go through the full program again, you can find out ideas on how to potentially add value to their business, or at least try to add value to their business and get equity that way, right? That's your goal, is to provide value and get equity for that. Obviously, if you can raise capital, that's a bonus. But in this masterclass, this is all about how can we buy businesses with no capital whatsoever, literally to buy them right away, no due diligence. We can do due diligence after we close the deal. So always recap, always listen, always tell them, look, so you said this, you also said this, right? Like listen to them, show them you care. After you do like an initial conversation, be like, look, man, I think we might be able to do something. Happy to sign an NDA. So I could receive more information about your company, and I could come back then with my thoughts and potentially an offer. Would that make sense, right? That's it. That's your goal in the first conversation, right? Just build rapport, build rapport, get their numbers, get their financials, listen to their problems, sign NDAs to get their problems, and that's it. And then have more conversations. If you end the call and you're like, oh shit, I have more questions to ask him, go ahead and have another call. Go ahead and have a second meeting, second call. Meet them. The more you're going to meet them, the more touch points you're going to have, the better. The more they're going to know you, the more they're going to trust you. It's not a go all in and that's it, one call and that's it. It's about building rapport, building relationship. The more calls, the better. The more conversations, the better. Right? Always curious, always care, always compassion, always care about them. People want someone to care about them. The more you're going to show them you care about them, the better. What do you want for this, right? Let's build a way to build, or let me help you. Yeah. So the way we look at deals overall is you ask them, cool, so did you think, what do you want for this? What is your goal, right? In the way, let's say they're telling you, hey, I want $1 million. That's cool. Everyone wants $1 million for the business. Your answer should be, cool, let's see if we can find a way to get you there, right? That's the way you need to look at the world in general. That's your goal. Those are your problems. Cool. Let's see how we can fix you those problems or how we can get you to your goals. Any questions before I move to the next step? My latest experience show that most sellers want someone who carries on their baby. Exactly. Someone who will be operatively active in the business and will not sell the business after 2-3 years. Exactly. Would you assure that even if you are not sure about it? It's up to you. For me, it's like, I will tell them, I'll be honest and transparent. So if you personally care about the person, care about their employees, and that's important to him and important to you, for him to care about you and for him to, to close the deal, then just be honest. And you can tell him, look, man, I don't believe in lying. That's first of all, right? Let's put that out there. And if you're personally just thinking, hey, I just want to go in and go out, then maybe that's a way for you to renegotiate things. And look, I'm going to come into the business. I'm going to fix things. I want to make things better, more profitable. And you know what? I'm even going to let you retain 20% of the business. So when I'm going to sell the business in 3 years, you're going to get a second exit, right? Basically a back-end exit too. So you're going to have 2 exits. So don't be afraid to put your intentions out there. Like, don't hide things. That could be another negotiation strategy for you. But if you feel like you don't know, just tell them, look, I don't know. Like, I think I might keep that for life, but I might sell that. I don't know. But it's up to you. I would say, obviously, also think what will help you close the deal. If you think that will make or break the deal, then rethink with yourself. Do I want to make or break the deal or something like that? Right? It's open, all open to negotiation. Sweet. So no worries. So I talked about that. Analyzing deals. So this training is all about basically distress training, $1 down, 100% seller financing. I'm going to show you the deal structures in a bit. If there are profitable companies and you need to analyze deals and go into the details, go and look at the training in the full program. My screen has gone blank. Anyone else can't see my screen anymore? Adrian just told me my screen got blank. So please tell me in the chat if you can see my screen or not. Also black. Let me stop sharing and come back then. Can you see it now? I can see it. I can see it. All good. Sweet. Thank you. I don't know. Some of you guys can see, some of you don't. That's weird. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through the notes anyways, guys, and don't worry about it. It's not like I could see it. Now I can see. Let me stop share again and reshare again. What the fuck's going on with this Zoom thing? All right, can you guys see now? Jesus, yes, some no. So I'm going to continue, guys. Sorry for that. But it looks like some of you work, some of you don't. Try to maybe go out and come back in if you have a problem. Fixed. Cool. All right, sweet. Cool. So we went through this. Analyze deals. Yeah. So if they're profitable companies, they're good companies, just go through the full training. Either my deal analysis video, which is very kind of like straight to the point, or if you want more in-depth training, Jeff did a great training with his modules. Go through it. At the end of the day, it's not about the deal analysis and all that. Numbers are great, but in the end of the day, what matters more is who's going to run the business, who's going to make sure the business is going to run well and make money. That's what you should care about more than specifically how much you pay or your debt to service ratio. Yeah, try to have like at least 1.5, cash flow to debt service and all that. But in the end of the day, you need to think more about who's going to manage the business and at least sustain the business. That's your goal. And you should think more about what are the terms for my deal in term versus what multiple I'm paying. Valuation for a good business is usually multiple of profits, right? What multiple you pick doesn't matter as much as are you able to close the deal with the deal structures that you decide with, right? With those deals, with the coronavirus situation, you'll see a lot of those businesses are just going to not be profitable, right? Even if they were profitable 2 months ago, now if you're going to ask them for financials, which you always should, by the way, ask for latest financials, always ask for latest financials, right? Right now, you should probably ask everyone, hey, share with me numbers from the last month or 2. That's how you can only value a business right now. So a lot of businesses are not going to be profitable. So the way to value business that isn't profitable is usually there's basically no value. If there's no cash, nothing, there's no assets, assets like there's basically in a month or 2, there's no business, right? You'll have to liquidate the business. Then that's when you can offer very, very good deals for you, like $1 down, earnouts. I'm going to go to the structure in a bit. But again, if those are larger deals, profitable deals, go back to the training, the full training, and just remember that we offer a multiple of EBITDA or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's more about, again, can you make an offer that you can finance and that can help you sustain the business at least. That's what you should worry about. Don't go into the details and nitty gritty of what the exact financing and module and whatever cash flow analysis. Yes, those things are important, but business in the end of the day is about people. Do you have good enough people to run the business? Do you have good enough product that you can sell to people? Do you have a market you can even sell to, right? If you have a real retail store right now, those are the things you need to worry about in the end of the day. Always think, what am I going to do with the business after I'm going to buy the business? Yes, before that, it's crucial, but what's more important is how can you make money after that, right? So always keep that in mind. But obviously, in the full training, we give you everything you need in order to analyze profitable deals and all that. Now, raising capital. Again, this training is more about, like, I want you to keep this focused on like buying distressed deals right away, but I want you to still talk about financing here because a lot of you are like probably have that in mind, especially if it's the first video you're going to watch. So I'm quickly going to go through it. But again, go through the capital module in the training. You're going to go a lot of that in that, right? So a lot of you, if it's the first time you're looking at things, you're like, holy shit, I need millions of dollars in savings, to buy businesses, right? You don't. What you need is different deal structures and other people money. A lot of our deal structures don't require any capital if you know how to structure things well and how to position yourself well. That's what you need to worry about, right? I'm going to go through that. Nowadays, at the same time, remember, banks only make money from lending, right? Especially now, basically zero interest. So that might be a very interesting time to raise capital. A lot of those banks or institutions won't give you capital right now, unless I know a lot of asset lenders are still working very, very well, actually. At the same time, remember that, like, I know SBA got some issues, but SBA is what you can do is potentially close the deal with the owner and then telling, hey, let's close the deal. And then I have to pay you whatever in the first 90 days of the deal from the lenders, from SBA, that you can raise money for existing business, but it's difficult to raise for acquisition. But you can have an agreement with an owner, hey, I'll buy your business. Let me get it down right now for $1. And if and when I'm going to raise you the capital in the first 3-6 months of me owning the business, and if I'm not able to raise this money, I'm going to give you the business right away. You're going to have a clawback to get the business back, right? So you can do deals like that right now. And obviously, you can tell him, look, continue to run the business. I'll be there with you to help you anyway. Within 6 months, if I'm not able to raise the capital, you'll have the business still anyway. And if I'm able, obviously, we can get a great deal for you. When you look for raising capital from banks, having a good management team in place can always help you, of course. And people think, and I'm going to go through that with the board and all that in a second, because I know a lot of you have that in mind, even when you need the board and all that. But when you position yourself in front of banks or institutions, you need to prove yourself that you are a good buyer, that you can run the business and not going to run into the ground. That's your goal. And it can be as simple as telling them, look, we're going to have a seller who's going to, like the seller is going to be the CEO, is going to run the business. He have a lot of experience. You have 10, 20 years experience. Obviously, he grew the business to this point and he's going to sustain it. Plus, we have employees that we can promote if and when our sellers decide that it's not for him. But right now, he's going to stay for at least X amount of years or whatever you feel comfortable sharing, and the seller is obviously comfortable staying. Always, of course, have a transition period with the seller no matter what, so you can learn about the business, etc. In terms of people asking me, when do you need to talk to financial institutions, partners, all that? My best answer for that is as soon as you get financials on your first ever deal, start to talk to financial institutions or financial partners in general, right? And I'm going to go through that. But as soon as you have a sample of financials, go and talk to people and tell them, look, here's a deal example. Is there a sample deal? I'm not sure it's going to be this one, but even if we're not going to close this deal, my deals are going to look something like that in the future, and then have conversations on those deals. Because you're going to be you're going to be looked as a much serious and credible buyer versus you coming in with nothing. Call everyone and ask, so call everyone and just ask for their lending criteria and ask for expressions of interest, right? So everyone you talk to, your goal is to just build rapport again, build a relationship, share your story, ask them about what they're looking for. And if and when they think that it's a fit for them, obviously ask them, what's their lending criteria, what they're looking for, what they need to do, what did they need in order to get a deal accepted or in order to invest in that deal, and provide them what they want, right? And give them the info about the business if needed, or whatever they ask you for. And your goal is to get some kind of an expression of interest, some kind of a term sheet, whatever you want to call it. It's same. There's obviously different words to same thing. And then you can take that expression of interest also to brokers, right? And you can literally use the same expression of interest for all of your deals with the brokers. That's another way to show proof of funds, by the way, or the best way. So who can you raise capital with? Asset lenders, they're working right now. Just be careful right now. You don't want to put too much debt on the business. If you decide to put debt on the business, at the same time, receivables, it's revolving facility, so you're not really putting debt on the business. It's just an ongoing thing. So all I'm saying is be careful, especially nowadays with putting any debt on a business. And yeah, this I mentioned, buy the business, then raise the finance. But yeah, obviously talk to everyone you can. Talk to cash flow lenders. In the program, we have a Rolodex of more than 300 institutions. You can call, you can email right away and talk to them and see if they're even in the business deal, see what their lending criteria is. Talk to private individuals, angel investors, right? Just Google them, your city, your state, your network. You can search for angel investors network in city. Ideally, look for angel investors who can add value to your business as well. And with everyone, relationship first, relationship first, relationship first, right? Then if they're asking you for, hey, send me a one-pager or a pitch deck or whatever, in the capital module, in the full program, I'm giving you some kind of like a pitch deck template of what you need to show to them if they're asking you for those things as well. To show them that you're serious and you know about your deal and you can provide financials and you talk to the business owner enough to know what even the deal that you're about to buy. Because you need to know about the deal as much as you can before you present it to an investor, right? Remember, those investors, one way to look at it is you're doing them a favor by providing opportunities to invest and get great returns. At the same time, remember that you need to look serious. The way to look serious is to do your homework, is to know enough about the deal. The way to know enough about the deal is to talk enough times with the sellers, to build rapport, to ask a lot of questions, right? So that's the way to deal with them. Again, we have the financial Rolodex in the program, or just Google all those different things, right? In your state, in your city, in your country. And yeah, a lot of our Rolodex in the program, by the way, they have branches all over the world. Just see if they have branches in your city, country, state. But yeah, other than that, just fucking call them. I've done an interview with Suhail, if you watched it. He said more than 300 institutions before you got his deal financed. So please, no excuses. Just talk to many institutions. He's done it, I think, in like 2 weeks, he said. Talk to 300 institutions. Same way, just numbers game. Same way to financial institutions. Same way when you talk to getting deals, right? Deal flow. So any questions before I move to the next step? What about size in terms of number of employees? Is there a minimum number of structure to avoid key risk man? So like I said in the beginning of the video, and if you didn't watch it, rewatch it in the recording, but I said go to for businesses doing at least $500,000 in revenues. Usually it means they have employees. It depends on the deal and the industry and the sector on what amount of employees you'll see per business and per size. The more techy the business, the less employees you'll usually have. But just use common sense. Again, if you're looking for businesses in any country, just look at like an average salary for an employee, which is usually around 50,000. If you add a few more thousands for like employee, like all the other benefits, etc. Let's say you can assume up to, let's say, 100,000 expenses per employee on average. That's how you can somehow assume what kind of revenues you'll see in a business at least, right? So if you have at least 10 employees, you can assume that they at least making $1 million a year in revenues, right? Those kind of assumptions. Again, depends on the industry, depends on the sector, depends on the type of employees, right? Obviously, developers, engineers, those kind of employees are taking more. So just the general rule. How do I find good management for the business? I'm gonna go through that down later when I tell you how to turn around business. But like I said, right now, if you're looking to turn around businesses, you want to be the person who's going out there and basically, go out there and get your hands dirty, and you need to be the person who's willing to be out there, do the work, right? The way to be there and be a good manager, I'm going to show you what you need to learn about business fundamentals. But in the end of the day, learn as much as you can from the employees, from the seller, in order for you to be there. If it's a profitable business and there's enough cash flow and you can hire, the way for you to get a good manager is there's few options. One of them is you either keep the seller. Many times the seller just don't want to do the business. He's just an artist. You want to do his art, right? Whatever is his business. Maybe he's a developer, an engineer, whatever. You just want to do his art. You don't want to deal with business and finance and marketing and sales and operations and managing, right? So he can be the person who's basically taking that role, or continue to take that role, and you're just becoming more of the kind of like the owner investor. If there's enough capital, you can promote people from within to keep everyone accountable. Or if you have, like I said, if the business is profitable enough, what you can do is just hire from the outside. The way to hire people is like you find deals. You just go out there and look for good people. Ideally, what you can do, I don't like to say this, but that's probably the best thing you can do, is to find competitors for those businesses and to offer them to join you for either better salaries, better bonuses, or even equity in the business. That could be, by the way, one of your investors as well. You can find someone that is running a similar business to the one you're buying and telling, hey, look, I'm going to buy this business. Do you want to invest in my business? And I'm going to let you run the business, and I'm also going to give you equity, right, for investing in the business. So that's going to be a much better deal for him versus him just working right now in a salary. So those are some of the ways to find good management team. So yeah, keep it simple. It's either you, the existing owner, combination of those things. You promote someone from within, or you hire from the outside. The way you find them is the same way you find deals. You just go out there and use numbers games. You call them, you use letters, you use social media, you go to events, etc., etc. It might be on the capital module, but can you explain quickly how to manage the financing if the bank asks me down payment? Well, in the end of the day, it depends on the type of financing. It depends on how you position yourself. It depends on many different things on even when you're going to get asked for down payment, right? So if they're asking you for a down payment and you can negotiate it, the way that I like to do it, especially if it's an asset lender, the best way to do it is to remind them, hey, look, you're going to have the assets in the business as collateral. So if something going to happen to the business, worst case scenario, you're going to liquidate the assets. You don't really need me. Why are you don't need me, right? Another way to look at it is like position it in a way where the equity is coming from the seller, right? So it's like, yeah, we're all going to do it. The seller is going to bring in a percentage of the deal, and it's basically the seller financing. So it's all about, again, building a relationship and seeing what will work for them. Many times it can be as simple as just adding 5% more seller financing. Many times it can be as simple as renegotiate different structure or paying more interest. So it's all, banks are literally like flea markets. It's all negotiable. It's all about how much they trust you and how much rapport did you build with them and how much can you renegotiate different terms. And sometimes, yeah, it depends on, again, the type of financing. Sometimes they'll ask you for different down payments. And then it's about how creative can you be, right? And I think I'm going to go there later. But if you'll see the interview that Lyle did with me, for example, he was able to raise, nice tip about the asset lender. Yeah, so if you look at the interview I've done with Lyle, he raised the down payment from suppliers, right? So if you have the business you're going to buy, they have suppliers, they're working with them for years. You can ask them for some kind of a down payment in order to keep exclusivity on working with them, right? There's all of the different things that I mentioned in the capital videos. Like you can ask the seller for a loan, right? Ask them for a loan to give you for the down payment. He's going to get interest on it, right? What else is going to do with his money? You can pay him 5-10% interest. Where else he can get that money, right? So you got to be creative. And I'm giving you in the full capital module more info and tips about that. But that's the time for you to be creative. You either renegotiate with your bank, you go to talk to other banks and institutions, or you raise it from private investors. Cool. So board, advisors, yep. Sweet. So any other questions before I move to advisors, board, and all that? So a lot of you are probably thinking, hey, do I need a board? Especially if it's the first video you're watching and you didn't really watch the full program yet. You probably, just make sure I'm recording still, because they'll suck. Stop. Yeah, sweet. So board, do you need a board? Who, why, and who, right? So here's the thing. When you're buying businesses that are not profitable, the way to do it is, it's the question, are you confident enough, right? When you do one deal, $1 deal, you don't need anyone around you. You just go out there, you present yourself as someone who can solve problems, and you get the deal done in $1. if you, oh, so that's, sorry, that's about the due diligence. So what I'm saying is when you raise capital and there's debt in the business, you will need due diligence. When you do $1 deals, you don't need due diligence. You can just buy it and do due diligence after you close the deal, really, because there's no downside. Now, do you need a board? Let me go through all of those notes and then it will make sense. And if you have questions, I'll answer them, right? But first of all, how you even get a board, right? And what do you pay them? So in terms of equity, you can give them anywhere from 1 to 30%. Again, it's all negotiable. What do they want? What do you want? How much work they're going to do? Some people will tell you, yeah, I don't want to do work just for equity. I want you to pay me per hour. It's all negotiable, right? It's all about how much do you sell yourself? Are you able to sell yourself in a way that they see the vision in what's possible, right? Chairman, people think they need chairman because they're not able to position themselves well enough. They think that if they'll have someone on their website, they'll then, I don't know, people will look at them like they're Jeff Bezos for a second. Can it help? I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't have any certainty in yourself and then you have someone on your website that you can say, hey, he's the big boss and I'm learning from him and it's giving you confidence, then yeah, maybe you can do that. No worries, right? It's all good. But if you have confidence enough to position yourself as a buyer and just have enough certainty, rapport, that's all you need. Like, I remember I talked to this billionaire. I was like, hey, can you be my partner, be on my board? He's like, yeah, no worries. But he told me, remember, Moran, you don't really need me. You think that you need me, but you're not. I'm not going to do the work for you. No one's going to do the work for you. Having my name on your website or anyone's name on your website is not going to do the work for you. No one's going to go out there and do the calls and do the work, So you need to ask yourself, why do you need someone like that? Why do you need a chairman, right? Again, if that's the only way to give you confidence, then get it. The way to get them, just message them and tell them, hey, I'm looking to buy businesses. I'm going to provide free equity for everyone just to be involved and be my advisor. Do you really need that? No, I'm sharing with you in the program the full process that you can buy a business fully on your own, literally without accountants and lawyers if you don't want. I'm not saying that it's smart to do it. I'm saying, especially in the $1 down business, you don't even need those things, right? And again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm sharing with you what I've done and kind of like my experience and what's possible, and to help you think for yourself. I hope that makes sense. So that's in terms of chairman. In terms of CEO to run the business, or you, right? Someone's going to run the business, or you ask who's going to run the business, who's manager in the business. So yes, you need someone to run the business. The question is it going to be you? Is there going to be enough money to pay someone else? Like I said, you can go to find someone in the sector or competitor to run the business. Ideally, there's transition at least with the seller. So in that period, you can find someone to run the business, right? All those different ways that you can think of with a distressed business, it's you need to go in and get dirty and be willing to be the CEO yourself and do the work. In terms of accountants and lawyers, so there are basically two ways to get accountants and lawyers: internal accountants and lawyers or external. Yeah. So the way to pay accountants and lawyers is either dilution of equity, especially if there's someone internal in the team. I'm not talking about talking to an accounting firm. I'm talking like someone who's just working as a freelancer or something as an accountant. You can give him equity in your company or in your future acquisition in order to help you do the work. Or you can pay them from the business, pay from business. Yeah, so a few ways to pay, right? You can pay them one time after you close the deal, and you can pay them deferred. Again, it's all negotiable. I saw accountants doing everything. I'm going to go through it in a second. With $1 deal, I would suggest to you the best way to go is to get ideally lawyers to review the templates that I'm providing in the program already for LOI, for sales and purchase agreement, and just either pay them per hour, equity, or deferred. If I'm doing deals right now for $1, I don't even need lawyers and accountants because I just trust, I guess, myself. But I'd say if it's your first deal, just get a lawyer to look at the sales and purchase agreement to make sure that you're safe and at least to give you some comfort. You can pay him with equity, you can pay him per hour. If you are using the templates in the program, you will literally need him for like 2-3 hours max just to look at the template. And I'm exaggerating. So it will cost you maybe a few $100, right? But again, with the $1 down deal, I'm going to show you basically the way to buy a business is to sign a sales and purchase agreement with someone else that have the permission to do that. That's it, right? You don't need crazy due diligence and things like that. You don't need finance due diligence because you're not raising capital. The institution don't care about it. And you, in your mind, are going to do due diligence after you buy the business. The best way to know about the business is when you own it. So after you buy the business, you can do post-deal due diligence. That's a way to look at it with the distressed businesses. And that's how you can close deal literally within a week. That's how we had clients who bought a business literally within like a week or two in the program. They just went out there, boom, got a distressed deal, $1 down, done, right? If you raise capital, there's that, then yeah, you need the due diligence, mostly for the financial institution, because they won't allow otherwise. They won't give you money. So like I said, if you decide to bring internal team, you can give them equity, you can pay them per hour. If you decide to bring external team, it means you go out there to accounting firm, to law firm, then obviously again, people are like, hey, where do I get accountants, lawyers, and success fee? Then in terms of where do I get accountants and lawyers on success fee? The way to do it is again to build a relationship, to share them about you, to talk to them about you, your story, and only after you have a letter of intent signed and proof of funds, that's where you get the deal done with them on success fee. With distressed deals, $1 down deals are distressed deals, and I'm going to share it in a second. I'm going to answer your questions after I finish. 1 second. So when you do due diligence on profitable companies and you're looking for accountants and lawyers on success fees, you got to have letter of intent signed from the seller plus proof of funds from the financial institutions, financial partners. Your goal is to roll fees for the next deal or defer the deals or just pay them hourly if and when you close the deal. The way you do it is you build a relationship, and only after you build a relationship, you share the deals. You have like, yeah, we're working on this deal. We have an LOI signed. We have proof of intent. The way we do it is like assume that that's the way we do business. Like, yeah, no worries. Let's do the deal together. But we want to defer the payment after we close the deal for X amount of months. That's the way to do it. That's the way to negotiate with them. Assume that that's the way. The thing you want is at least local M&A lawyer and small business accountant. That's what you need. It's enough. Just Google and call them. I know there's a lot of conversation about Big Four and all that. Can you get Big Four? Yes, you can. They're going to cost you 10 times more, and in my opinion, are not worth it for the small deals. If you're going to do a deal doing at least 50 million in sales, then yeah, you can think more about Big Four firms. Unless you're going public right now, right away, I don't think it's necessary whatsoever to work with Big Four. How do you find accountants, lawyers, board members? Same way you find deals. People ask me, what agreements should I sign with board members before we have a deal? Before you have a deal, it's mostly about trust. If you can't trust them before you have a deal, please don't get into business with them. You're not going to trust them after that. You can sign an NDA, but like I said, NDA isn't worth the paper it's written in. You're not going to sue anyone on NDA, and they most likely are not going to sue you on any NDA. It's not like you're stealing technology from Google or Facebook that anyone's going to sue you, right? So I wouldn't worry about that until you close the deal. When you close the deal, you're going to have all the shareholder agreements and all that your lawyers can help you with. Yeah, so any questions about that? If and when you need a board and all that, does it make sense, or was that kind of like too much all over the place? Please let me know if you have questions. My Dean Capital. Okay, so I answered that. It's going to be on the website. Are you referring, Jency, to the video, the recording? Then yeah, it's going to be on all over the place, like Facebook and inside the members area. I'm sorry, but what $1 deal means? Yeah, seller finance deal. Yeah, so $1 down deal is distressed deal. And please, again, post the questions for everyone, not privately, because I want everyone to see. $1 down deal are distressed deals. It means that there are companies that are, are in a stress situation. Like right now, look at restaurant, for example, look at gyms. They need to pay different payments, different lists, like rent or stuff like that, or employees, whatever they agree with the employees, but they don't have any cash coming in. They don't have any revenues. Those companies within a few weeks or months, depends on their situations, are going to be very stressed, and their owners will just want to run away because they don't want to go out there and fire employees. They have rent agreements that they're afraid to negotiate, and I'm going to share with you how to turn around those businesses and how to at least try to turn around those businesses. Those businesses you can just take for $1 because that's kind of like just a good faith number that you want to use and have some kind of a trail paper, that some kind of a proof that you've done the transaction to buy the business. That's kind of like the legal way to have some kind of a business transaction. You gotta put at least $1 down. So those are businesses that basically the owner is like, fuck it, I don't want to be here. I need to shut down the business, and you coming in is kind of like as a last resort to try and save the business. And again, those businesses a few weeks ago valued as millions of dollars, but now are struggling. And if you're willing to go out there and playing in the dust, basically roll your sleeves and do the work, you will be able to potentially turn around some of those businesses and make a lot of money when the dust settles. Or you could just literally make money right now to pivot businesses, right? I share two examples here that I've saw some people are doing. Is like, if you buy in gyms, you can pivot them to online trainings. If you have a restaurant, you can pivot them to delivery of food instead of restaurants, right? Things like that. Are you not assuming liability? Yeah, Deepak, great question. Unless it's protected by corp. Exactly. So we're going to buy those businesses with SPVs, with special purpose vehicles, with LLCs or LTDs or whatever you're from. And ideally, you have LLC that's owning LLC that then buying in companies. So it's not your name that's buying companies, the company or companies at all. So that's the way to do that, to protect yourself. I came in a bit late, so maybe it's not too much to ask. Where do we find the $1 down deals? Yeah, just watch the replay, Leonardo. But it's basically same ways that we find profitable companies. Just nowadays with the coronavirus thing, if it's going to continue, every business is going to be distressed. So literally, most of those businesses are going to be $1 down or seller financing deals, unfortunately. But at the same time, this could be huge opportunities for you guys, for everyone. Let me just quickly check something. So you asked me a question. If you have, I'm just going to check that I'm fine in terms of timing. Yeah, sweet, we're good. Cool. So we're all good with the board. When we need the board, all that. Let's move to the next step then. So, all right. So here are deal structures, offer sequences, right? So far we found deals, we picked a sector, we sent letters, we did the calls, we did social media, we had conversations, we listened to the seller. It's not about us, it's about them. Don't be selfish, be selfless. The most selfish thing you can do in life is to be selfless, is to care about them, to ask for their problems and ask their goals. And then you can offer to sign an NDA, to receive financials. You can start to talk to financial institutions, see maybe you can raise capital, but a lot of those businesses are going to be distressed. So you could buy them for $1 literally. But I just want to give you the $20,000, 20K view on the process. So, and if and when we need the board, we need to think in mind, who's going to run the business? Is it going to be me who's going to be there and do the work? And I'm going to show you what work you need to do in a bit. Or do I have enough cash flow in the business to hire someone else, which is what the full program is about. Go and watch the full program. This is more about, the full program is more about profitable companies. This is more about, let's get deals right away. So here are some structures, right? And offer sequence, all those different structures can be combined or used one of them, and that's it. But when you have conversations with business owners, you need to always keep those things in mind. What can I do in the deal structures to help bridge the gap between what they want and what I want and what makes sense for me? And yeah, like I said, some of the structures don't require capital whatsoever. So keep that in mind always as well, right? So those are, like I said, tools to bridge the gap between the valuation and terms and what they want and what do you want. And then if the price doesn't matter, the terms does, right? So if someone's going to tell you, hey, pay me $10 million for my business, I'll tell them, yeah, okay, I'm happy to do that. I'll pay you over 50 years, right? And then I'm fine with that. See what I mean? As long as the business obviously can pay back. So let me go through some of those things. So $1 down deals are kind of like the simple, the business owner is kind of like, dude, I don't want to stay here anymore. I'm almost thinking about shutting down the business. If you want, go in and try to give it the last try before we need to shut down the business. And many times business is just not working because the business owners just don't know enough about any business fundamentals. A lot of those gym owners, they don't know anything about business. All they know is about lifting weights and training people, right? They don't know anything about business, about just basic business fundamentals and leadership and finance and numbers and cash flow and all those different simple things that if you can bring to the table, which you will after this video and after following the full program, you'll have a lot of value to bring. So by you going in there and trying to save those businesses, you can do a lot, right? So trust yourself. Again, like I said, jump into the water, jump into the unknown. It's okay. Like, don't be afraid. Buy and buy out. That's another way, right? So what you can do is just tell them, look, I'll see turnaround slides. Cool. So like I said, I'm going to teach you at the bottom how to turn around those businesses. You can tell them, look, the business is in distress. $1 down. So this is assuming 100%, right? The owner is like, fuck it, I don't want to stay here. I want out. Done. If that's the case, try to have at least a transition period. If it's a week, 10, 12, a year, whatever you can negotiate, right? Ideally, the more he stays next to you, the better, because you can learn more about the business. So that's the first kind of thing. Does the coronavirus teach us how deals should be structured? So that's what I'm teaching you right now, Deepak. Pay attention. This is how I teach you right now to structure deals. What type of business and in what sector do you think that's more likely to survive and become profitable in this pandemic year situation? Everything is going to go back up eventually. The question is what can survive right now? Like I said, gyms are a great example where you can survive and even thrive right now, even if you don't have the gym itself. Anyway, first deal structure, $1 down, you just offer to take it $1. Second structure is you offer $1 down for maybe just a small percentage or 50% or 60% or whatever you can negotiate. The way you do that is you listen to the problem. You're like, okay, those are your problems. This is where you want to be. Cool. Here's what I think I can get you there. I can get you, right? So you tell them, look, I think I can help with this and this and this, which I'm going to share with you in a bit, with your management and cash flow and blah, 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 blah. And we can get your business online, blah, 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 whatever you can help them. I want 50% for that. I want 20% for that. I want 10% for that. I want 80% for that. Whatever is it for you. That's another structure. Another way to do it is like, look, man, I think I can help with this and this and this. I believe we can get to A by ABC, and you can make it contingent. Only if and when I get your business to X, I want X%. And again, feel X with whatever you feel comfortable with. There's no right or wrong here. There's no good or bad. It's whatever you can negotiate and feel that you're worthy of getting. It can be anywhere from 1% to 5% to 10% to 50 to 100%, literally. And again, it's all up to you and your creativity and your imagination and your skills to build rapport and get him to like you and trust you, literally. And then you can even tell him, look, man, I think I can turn around this business. I can get it from not profitable at all to making $100,000 in profit. If and when that happens, I want 50% of the business. And then I'll even give you an option to buy me at 3 times multiples. So then you'll have some kind of an exit strategy already. Earnouts. Earnouts are basically you telling him, look, man, I think that your business, whatever, you agree on some valuation. You're like, cool, I'll pay you that, but I'll pay you that. So let's say the business is doing $1 million in profits. You're like, or 100,000, or let's say it's doing no profits whatsoever, right? Which is what we're talking about right now. You're telling, look, man, you think it's worth X, but based on what the business is looking right now, the business is not making money. I'm happy to pay you if you're going to stay here and work with me and do the work. And I believe we can turn it around together. And then I promise to pay you 50% of profits if and when we achieve profits, right? Or if and when we get to X amount of dollars, we'll split 50-50 or 30-70 or 80-20 or whatever you negotiate again. Deferred are guarantees, right? So it's basically, look, I'll pay you X amount of dollars a month no matter what, right? Be careful of those things nowadays because we don't know what's going to happen. You can't guarantee pretty much any revenues at this stage with what's going on right now in the market, right? Be careful. That's why those are the structures you want to focus on right now, right? Focus on those at the moment. Deferred, yeah, this is more for profitable companies. You have amazing last 3 years, you know what's going to happen in the future. You have contracts with clients. You're like, look, no worries, I'll pay you X amount of dollars per month to bridge the gap between what you want and what I want. LBO is leverage buyout, what we do in program is go out there to asset lenders, cash flow lenders, and raise capital to help with financing the deal, right? A great way, which can, by the way, be applicable to all of those, is retained equity, right? Which is basically this or this. It's like, look, cool, no worries. So I think I can turn around this business, and you know what? I'll even let you keep 20%. I'll even let you keep 50%. I'll even let you keep 60% for even when I turn around the business, so you can have a great back end opportunity to make more profit then, even when I turn around this business, right? Equity investors, those can actually work right now as well, especially private investors, customers, suppliers, right? Yeah, suppliers is here as well. So that's what I mentioned. That's how Lyle did a deal basically. You can get, there's a lot of cool things. If you look at all those opportunities, you can combine, you can switch, you can, go to investors and tell them, hey, you can go to CEOs of other companies and tell them, hey, come and join me and partner with me and invest in my deal or run my business that I'm going to buy. See what I mean? It's all about how creative and resourceful are you willing to be. You can go to customers and tell them, look, we're struggling a little bit right now. Do you want to buy, shares in the company? Or do you want to buy maybe some kind of a gift card and pay like whatever, $500 in advance, $1,000, $10,000, whatever the product is in advance in order for you to have future access to products, right? So private individuals, VCs and private equity firms, that's kind of like the last results because they're going to look for most of the money. They also look for, especially VCs, they're looking for fast growing tech companies usually. Private equity firms, they have many type of private equity firms. So those definitely, you can keep them in mind as well. But again, with all those different type of people, it's about building relationships, sharing your story, what you want to do. Hey, I have this goal. I want to buy this business. I want to turn this around. I want to have this dream. I have this goal. I need help with this. I need help with Y. I think I can help with X. I can help with Y. And like I said, you putting the time is all you need alongside the strategies you're going to learn here. Get the seller to loan you. This is mostly for when you raise capital and you're looking for a down payment, get them to loan you. Post-deal financing. Now, this is great, right? You can get suppliers to help you with and all those different exclusivity with suppliers. Those are great. That's how Lyle did his deal. If you listen to the interviews I've done, he just went to suppliers of the acquisition target and told them, hey, give me a down payment. I'll stick with you for exclusivity for the next 2 years. All right. Those are some of the things you need to keep in mind. Cool. Any questions for now? Question, isn't it much more complex with angel VCs because they want large amount of the share? So venture capitals, yeah, 100%, they probably won't deal with you unless you're working in tech companies and have a lot of credibility and are able to really prove that you can do a lot of amazing things with the business. So I would run away. I would keep VC for like last result. Angel investors, it depends on the type of angel. So angel investor can be anyone. Angel investor can be your mom and dad and real estate investors or anyone who's basically looking to put money somewhere. And those people, it just depends on what you negotiate with them, right? If you raise capital from your cousin, or if you raise capital from someone who's investing in your sector for 20 years, obviously you'll get different valuation and different proposals and different demands because they all have also different expectations and different knowledge about the sector and the business. So it really depends on who you're talking to. It really depends on who you're talking to. What do you think about equity vesting? For who you're referring to, if you're referring for board members, I would say, yeah, that's a great idea to give them equity only if and when they work for X amount of months or years in the business. The way I like to look at it is like, work with me for free until we get the deal done, and then you get the equity that you want. And again, it's all negotiable. It's all depends on what you want, right? And what they want, and just make it a win-win for everyone. Cool. Next step. Do you guys like the training so far? Because we still have a lot to go. I'm not used to talk so much. All right. Sweet. Thank you for those. Yes. I'm giving you some more. Don't worry. All right. How do you then make offers, close the deal? So, most important thing is same side of the table. First of all, you closing the deal with them. You're not fighting. You're not trying to win anyone. You're doing it with them together. So, LOI. This is kind of like the main program, right? If you go to the full program, you raise capital, you need due diligence. Usually takes 8 to 12 weeks, which you want to sign on exclusivity and a letter of intent. Letter of intent is not binding, which means you legally still don't have to buy the business if you don't want. There's templates in the program you can use for LOI. The exclusivity is just for you to do your due diligence. The way to send an LOI, letter of intent, or head of terms, whatever different words for the same thing, is you can send via email, letter, in person. I like to send it and then wait. And then if they don't reply to you back, let's say within a week or two, you can just say, hey, just want to make sure you saw my offer, right? That's the way to send an offer. Then, like I said, if you raise capital, you need legal, finance, industry due diligence. Watch the full program videos. Industry due diligence can literally just be you going out there and talking to the business owner, the employees, et cetera, to learn about the industry and the sector. Or it can be whoever you bring who kind of like going to run the business to help you with understanding what's going on in the sector. In this training, I want to focus more on the $1 deal down. So like I said, the way to close $1 deal down, distressed deals, is just to see it as a post-deal due diligence, because the best way to learn about a deal is after you actually own the business, after you see what the fuck's going on in the business, because by definition, the seller knows more about you, about the business than you. So by definition, you won't know anything until you actually own the business. And unless you have, because you don't have any downside when you do $1 down deal, you don't have to do any due diligence, right? And you're like, okay, let's buy the business. Let's do the due diligence after you close the deal. Worst case, we just shut down the business. And obviously, I'm not saying go with that intent. Go with that intent to fix things, but keep in mind that you don't have any risk. If you, like I said, going to do some of the things I'm telling you, which is buy through SPV to LLC, don't use your name to buy business, etc., etc. That's why for all of you, I suggest use our template, and then in your first deal, just get a lawyer to review the template and pay him for a few $100 or equity in the business, or defer it over time when you own the business from the cash flow of the business. So the way to buy $1 down is the same. You make an offer, you can build the offer together with him, with the seller, same side of the table, and then in order to actually, so like I said, LOI is not binding, but then to make it official, you sign a sales and purchase agreement. You send $1, ideally in some kind of an online transaction thing. So there's some kind of a trial, a paper trail for that, and that's it, right? And obviously, can get, like I said, can get one lawyer to just advise both of you, right? So you can even tell him, look, man, in the end of the day, it's about me and you. Let's even pay one lawyer to just review our documents. But in the end of the day, it's about, if me and you are not agreeing on the deal, there's no deal anyway, right? So let's make sure that both of us agree on things first and write everything in documents. And the worst case scenario, I mean, let's just get a lawyer to review things and make sure we're kind of like legally following everything. Because all of you guys are in different countries, different states, I would definitely suggest you to do that in your first deal to understand the local rules. So yeah, the way to do it is like, look, man, and ideally, like I said, meet him in person. The best way to make an offer is with them together. It's like, look, you said your wish list is this. You also said your problems are this. So here's my offer to you. Here's how I think we can potentially fix those problems, which is some of the things I'm going to share with you at the bottom on how to fix businesses, right? We're going to do this and this and this and this. Here's what I think we can do. This is my offer for you. I'm going to take the burden from you. I'm going to do, I'm going to let you go and do your thing. You want me to fire anyone? You want me to renegotiate and deal with annoying suppliers and creditors and all those things? I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to take the burden from you. You're not going to be the bad person here. I'm going to do whatever I can to save it. And I mean, you can even give him some kind of an upside if the thing's going to turn around, right? And the way to do it is you tell him, look, we don't have time for due diligence. So a lot of them will tell you, hey, well, what's about the due diligence? Everyone's telling me I need due diligence. The way to do it is like, look, man, we don't have time for due diligence. I trust you. It's about trust. In the end of the day, we just won't have a business to buy if we wait too much, right? So I need to go in and start fixing things right away because time is in the essence. That's the way for you to answer their objection of why you don't do due diligence for yourself and for him. So the way to do this is draw the head of terms, the LOI with him, and build fears and objections into the agreement, right? So if he's afraid of whatever, you don't want to fire people, you don't want to deal with the liabilities, whatever his objection is, just say, okay, we're taking all liabilities. We're going to handle all pissed off employees or customers, all of those different things, right? Whatever is it for him, you just need to be there to handle those problems. And like I said, letters can, and that's the thing you can tell him, look, in the end of the day, we can get the lawyers to formalize everything, but let's agree ourselves first. If we can agree ourselves first, lawyers are just going to charge us for a lot of money and it's not worth it, right? And the business can't afford that anyway. And yeah, obviously keep things in a scarce, be like, look, man, the offer is relevant right now. If we're gonna wait next month, I don't know, things might change. We won't even have a business, right? We both know we don't have, cash is bad, cash flow is bad. We gotta move forward right now. So my offer is relevant for whatever, the next day, the next week. You gotta make it a little bit more scarce. And yeah, obviously deal with objections on the spot, right? It's like a sales process. You just being there and acknowledging them and appreciate them, and be there to listen, and be there as someone who's trying to help, right? So yeah, so why no due diligence? I'll have to trust you. I take a risk here, and there will just be no business to buy if we wait too much. So, and like I said, for you, there's no risk. Find out when in the business, fresh objective eyes, only upside. So the way to look at it is, for you don't have any risk if you put in $1 down. Worst case, you liquidate the business, which, like I said, don't come with that attitude in the first place. But you need to understand you only have upside. Obviously, you and your time, right? Which is worth, for some of you more, for some of you less. But if you're wanting to do deals, like I said, you can buy businesses right now that valued a few $1 million a few weeks ago. You can buy them for free right now, right? And if you literally just bring them back to where they were at a few weeks ago, you can make a lot of money. So yeah, another way to negotiate those things is to ask him, look, man, are we even in the ballpark, right? Are we even close to doing something here? And if we are, then you can say, you know what, let's do a lockdown meeting. Let's go out in a meeting and let's figure out, and no one leaves until we either get a deal done or we just say goodbye and go home, and everyone go do his own thing. But you gotta put a limit on those things. You don't want to drag things, especially if a business is in a distressed situation. You gotta get in and try to fix things as soon as possible. So that's the way to look at it. Any question before we move to a very long, how to basically turn around things when you're in, and how to protect yourself? Questions. I have an advisory board in place, so I pay as a retainer every quarter. Do I need another type of board as well, like a board of directors? No, rewatch the training again to even ask yourself, why do you even need that board and why do you pay them? Because in this program, you learn everything to do on your own. But like I said, it's on you. If you feel like you need them, then it's on you, even how much you want to pay them. But yeah, that's all you need. I went through the board questions, so I hope that makes sense. And just rewatch the training if you weren't here. What is your take on business that are in the healthcare or other sector that should be growing in this recession type? That should be growing, I guess. It's a question. In this recession type of environment. Well, obviously, if the business is growing right now, you need to think about it as well and understand that when the dust settles, you need to consider if and how much they're going to continue to grow. They're most likely going to go back down a little bit, right? They're not going to have a crazy, whatever, if they're selling whatever mask or something right now, they're not going to sell as much mask later, right? So you need to consider that in your valuation as well, and explain it to them, or share with them the fact that it's basically a one-time spot. It's not going to be consistent, and that's why you're not there to pay for that. You're paying you're paying for future revenues, not for one-time spike revenues. Can you make sure you post this again, and also link to this Google Doc? Yeah, definitely. I'm going to post this probably as the first video in the program for everyone to watch, because I think this is super critical for right now. This is the way for us to help. So it's going to be all over the place in the program, in the Facebook group. I think this is a way for us to right now help entrepreneurs, help business owners who are struggling. And like I said, call them, ask how they're doing, and see if you can help with some of the things I'm going to get into right now. So we have a lot of very, very good things. Those are the skills you need, by the way, if you want to go in, turn around a business right now. Those are the skills you need to keep in mind. So rewatch this as much as you can. This is what you can do to bring value to any business right now. And that's how you can fix them. So this is the procedures, how to even buy a distressed business. So always buy through SPV, which is basically a special purpose vehicle. It's just a new entity. You're buying a company from an entity, LLC in the US, LTD. Depends on your country. Just look for whatever is for you, right? Ideally, SPV owned by other SPV. So the way to do it, you don't have to register anything right now, but the moment you're going to purchase a company, you just register in the US, for example, it's just a few bucks to register an LLC. You can even get the LLC to own another LLC that owns the business you're buying. That's giving you more protection. But that's why I'm telling you, in your first deal, at least consult with your lawyer on the templates and make him suggest you. My suggestion to you is to have at least LLC that owns an LLC that then owns the business you're buying. So then if you liquidate anything, it's not going back to you. Nothing is going to go back to you, right? And like I said, if the business doesn't work, just liquidate and walk away, or invoice out assets. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a way that's protecting you legally as well. And yeah, when you, if and when, and this is on the starting, it's not like the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, you bought a business. Like worst case, you just contact like insolvency practitioner or in the US Chapter 11 practitioner to shut down, and the business will pay the fees for that, right? So nothing will come out of your pocket. And the way, so let's say you have good assets in the business that you just bought that you want to continue to trade in a different place, maybe as a new entity to try and do it in a different way. You can do that, especially if you have like an existing business. You can just take the assets that you want. I would say keep it as a last resort. Ideally, you want to try to turn things around, pay all the creditors as much as you can. But like worst case scenario, like you have nothing to do, this is what you can do. So what you can do is message all the creditors and say, look, in the best of interest of creditors, we stopped trading because we were trading insolvent and are going to sell off the assets, right? So I'm talking about assets like database, product, inventory. You also want to have a board meetings, right? You want to have board meetings where you say, hey, here are the assets we have. We try to sell those assets. We try to sell them on eBay or on Craigslist, right? The reason is because legally, your creditors are number one priority in liquidation process. So in order for you to take assets of a failing business and moving it to a different company that is yours, if you want to continue to use those assets with getting rid of the liabilities, right? The way to legally do that is to, first of all, message all the creditors about that, then to show them, hey, we tried to sell those assets on eBay or Craigslist. No one will really buy those assets because for every business, if you have whatever, like I don't know, I'm thinking about like a random equipment of a business, no one fucking going to buy a secondhand of that thing. It's only valuable to you or your or your list of clients or whatever, right? Those kind of things are valuable to you. So most likely no one's going to buy them. And then you can use them in the future, but you're going to ideally have a public place to show that you try to sell it. And like I said, keep some kind of a board meeting reference to cover your ass and have some kind of a paper trail on your plane. So it can be as simple as you like having a notebook with, hey, today we had a meeting with our board. It can be you and whatever, one of your employees or something like that. So it just again, to legally protect your ass. And only then, a new SPV company. So let's say if you have a company, so if you have company one that you just bought and you want to shut it down, right? You want to shut it down and you have liabilities that you want to get rid of, but then you have assets that you want to keep, right? What you can do is then create a separate entity, number two, and invoice those assets into the second company. And then you can contribute. And again, it's up to you if you have something to do with those assets and you can continue to trade it. If you feel like you can make money with it, you can then basically continue to trade with those assets. And then depends on what you negotiate with the creditors, you can potentially pay them 2 cents on the dollars or something like that. Yeah, but only then a new SPV company can invoice the assets into your SPV. Then you can trade with the assets you want and pay creditors over time, obviously renegotiate terms from future cash flow. This is just, again, to protect your ass from the law. Check with your lawyer and all that, because I'm not a lawyer, and legally I can provide you law and any of those things, but that's, again, something you need to keep in mind. Personal guarantees. In the end of the day, ideally, you don't want to sign an personal guarantee, right? That's how, again, you protect your downside. It's worst case scenario, right? So a lot of those owners might have personal guarantees, some won't, right? So you need to check it out with them. The document you're reviewing is very blurry. Can you zoom in, please? Is it blurry for everyone else as well? I'm gonna get the text bigger. Is that helping? Or is it now? No, fine for you. Okay, so yeah, just Yeah, that should be fine for everyone. Anyway, personal guarantees. So you sign personal guarantees on debt when taking loan. That's what happens, right? So what you want to do, some of those owners might have some debt or loans with the banks that they send personal guarantees on. So ideally ask for a copy for it. If they don't have a copy, the bank can provide a copy of the personal guarantee. You can dispute it. And basically, you can literally get rid of it, right? That's one thing. Ideally, when you negotiate, you don't even talk about personal guarantees. They retain the personal guarantees until the debt repaid by the business. You don't, so you don't sign any personal guarantee. Right? They keep their personal guarantee for them, and you just coming in as the safeguard, as someone who's trying to save the business. And you're like, look, man, you keep your personal guarantee for yourself. I'm going to come in to try to save the business. You can stay with me, and let's try to save it together, right? And again, it's all negotiable, right? Some of them will tell you, hey, the only way I'll sell you the business is if you take the personal guarantee from me and you sign it, right? That's when you want to dive into the details, see exactly what he owes, what's going on there, what's the amount. Especially in the UK, you can insure personal guarantees, which usually cost like 1% of the amount. For other countries, that's what I know about. I'm not sure about other countries, how that works, but you can Google personal guarantees in different countries. And for a lot of you who I know have no assets to lose, remember that worst case scenario, if you sign a personal guarantee, and I'm not suggesting you to, but I don't want to scare you because it's not the end of the world as well. If you sign personal guarantees and you have no assets on the line that you can lose, then there's a sentence that says you can't really fall from the floor, right? So keep that in mind as well. And remember that if you owe money to the bank, the last thing the bank will want is to run after you, especially if you have no assets whatsoever for those personal guarantees. And they'll do their best to renegotiate terms to help you sustain and keep the business running. So always keep that in mind as well. And even if you go bankrupt, like it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying that any of you should aim to get there or try to get there. But if you have, let's say this, if you have assets on the line that you can lose, I wouldn't probably don't sign personal guarantee unless you can insure it, right? Or unless you really trust yourself and your ability to run the business the right way and to sustain it the right way, right? And it's up to you. What's your risk level? Remember, risk reward, right? If you'll see some of the richest people in the world, I remember there was the richest person in Brazil and there was another richest person in Israel. They were both buying companies. They became the richest people in their countries, and then they went bankrupt because they signed personal guarantees and their companies went down, right? So keep that in mind. At the same time, they became the richest people in their countries because they were able to take so much risk. It fucked them up in the end of the day, but a lot of the other richest people out there in the world are still signed personal guarantees on a lot of the loans that they took. So it's just a question you need to ask yourself. What's your kind of like risk and reward levels that you're willing to take or not? And I'm not the person to answer that. That's something you need to answer yourself. So yeah, any questions before I move to the next step? What solutions do we offer to the seller if after getting them to finance the acquisition, we as a buyer fails and promise payments? Well, what solutions do we offer to the seller if after getting them to finance the acquisition, we as the buyers fails to promise payments? Well, in the end of the day, obviously, you need to do your best, right? If you do your best, like forget the rest. That's the way I look at it. And I hate to say that, but it's like, you need to do your best. As long as you do your best, let go of everything else. And I'm not saying a lot of those business owners are struggling. They won't be even able to finance and give you money to finance the deal. So a lot of those deals, like I said, especially now with the coronavirus, is just you going out there, being the person to try and save the day one last time before the owner is shutting down the business, literally. And you take the business for free for $1, right? When the business is more sustainable, making profit for a long time, those businesses who are making the same amount of profit almost every year, the seller will have more confidence to give you money, and also obviously financial institutions and banks. Anyway, so after this is what we do to protect our downside, right? Buy through SPVs always, and ideally don't sign personal guarantees, or understand kind of like if you can insure, or understand also that if you have nothing to lose, you can fall from the bottom, right? Keep that in mind. Now, what do we actually do in the day-to-day in order to try and turn around the business? So this is where we start. And a lot of those things, by the way, are in the program in the first modules. So definitely go through the full program if you didn't yet, because there's a lot of small gold in there, and rewatch everything and again and again and again and again. Because when you take action and you go back to the videos, then you will just learn different lessons from different perspectives. Anyway, here's what you need to do when you go into a business. First of all, you need to bring all the employees together and tell them, look, guys, we're going on a war here, right? We either all go down or we all go together. And in order to get together, we need to have one vision that we all follow, right? We need to keep in mind, what is our vision? What we try to achieve here, right? And what values do we all have as a company here? Are we all going to be honest? Are we all going to keep our integrity? Are we all going to be committed to excellence and to hard work? Or are we all going to be following the values like, I don't know, be lazy, 4-hour work week vibe, right? What values are we going to have as a team here? You need to be the leader. You need to be the person who's going to be there. And, you know, they will follow what you, so employees will follow what you do, not what you say, right? So you got to, if you're going out there to turn around businesses, you got to lead from the front. You got to be the person who's like, come, follow me, right? So that's first. And again, go through the videos in the full program to learn more about all those things, about values and all those things. But in the end of the day, you got to have one vision, one target, one thing. Like I'm telling you guys to be focused. Same with your employees. We all have one goal, one thing. Let's go. Let's get focused. Let's go out there. Every team member need to know their role and their goal and their number. They all need to have a number. What number? What is their goal every week, every month, every 90 days? And you need to keep them accountable. You're going to get there. And they got to know, like you got to go through literally each of the role and find out, do they even know what they're doing, right? A lot of times you'll find out those people don't even know what they're doing. Can you build a step-by-step process for each of them to follow to get the results that we can, right? If they don't know what they're doing, like you'll find out, like I said, all of those business owners never ran a business before. They're personal trainers. They're, I don't know, running a restaurant, but they just know how to make good food. They don't know how to run a business. And in order to run a business, in my opinion, the most important thing is to show your people that you acknowledge and care about them and get them involved in decisions in the business. Make them feel like they're the owners as much as you, because they are. Your biggest client as a business owner is your employees. You need to sell to them first. If you can't sell to your employees, you can sell to your clients, period. And yeah, obviously share. Why is this important? We're trying to save jobs here. We're trying to, you know, help the community. We try to help our clients. We try to prove that we can still sustain things when the craziness is going around us, right? Be the leader, acknowledge people, care about them, get them involved. I don't believe in being an asshole to employees. If you think that being an asshole to someone will get them to do any work for you, I'm sorry, but good luck with that. Accountability, you got to keep them accountable like you got to keep yourself accountable, right? Every week, what you're going to do weekly, monthly, 90 days basis to get shit done, to get to your outcome, to get to your goal. Another really, really important business fundamentals is you got to cut costs and increase profitability first. When you go into a business that is suffering, that should be your first focus. Cut costs. What can we cut? Look at your P&L, profit and loss statement. See every expense, every line, go one by one and ask yourself, what is it? Can we do better? Can we save costs? Can we delete it? All right? You can't, like I said, don't let people look at you as blank checks of someone who just going to bring in money into a business that is shutting down because you don't have a business good fundamentals. All right, those are the fundamentals for every business. Most businesses, this is simple things, but most people don't implement those things. Stay lean. What can you do to stay lean versus throwing money at problems? I don't know. Use Google Sheet versus buying a CRM that costs you $100,000 a month, few $1,000 a month, right? Simple things. What can you do to save money? Are you maybe paying bills too fast, right? What can you do to stretch payments? Receivables, maybe you have clients who didn't pay you. What can you do to bring in for them to pay you faster? Offer discounts. Those little things can help you so much with cash flow. And cash flow is what's running. I'm going to get to there in a bit. Maybe you have too much inventory that you don't sell. What can you do to go out there and sell it right away at a discount? Your goal is to bring in cash, to bring in cash flow. That's your goal. As the business owner, when it's struggling, you got to track things daily. Track daily cash flow, right? Every day, track down what did we spend money on today, right? And how much money did we get in today? Every day, cash in. How much cash in? How much did we spend? Cash. I'm not talking revenues. Cash in. And yeah, businesses die from lack of cash, not from lack of profits. Get cash. That's your goal. When you're going in there and trying to turn around a business, your goal is to get cash, get cash, get cash daily. What can we do? Talk to your employees, have goals together. What can we do to bring in more cash? Can we get clients to pay us faster instead of paying over many, many payments? Can we call them, each of our clients, tell them, hey, come and pay us today. We're going to give you a discount if you're going to pay whatever you owe us, right? If you are paying service providers, what can you do to call them and renegotiate the terms, right? So if you pay them right now every week, what can we do to call them to pay them every 30, 60, 90 days? Because that will give us better space with our cash flow, right? Those small things, those little things would really, really help and literally save or break you, like make or break you. Sell and marketing. So there's only 3 ways to grow a business, right? You either get new clients, you get them to spend more money at each purchase, or you get them to come back and buy more times from you, right? So ask yourself, what can you do to reach out to old customers that didn't buy for a long time? What can you do to call them and tell them, hey, we have this offer, we have this product, come and buy again? What can we do to offer a few products at the same time? Bundles and discounts. Anything to bring in cash that won't cost you much, because this won't cost you much other than like a phone call, right? What can you do to upsell, to downsell? This is huge. Just raise price by 10%. Most businesses have a product, have a price that they're using for like, I don't know how many years, and they didn't raise the price. That's because they're used to it. But by you raising the price by 10%, that's a lot of money, all profits down to your bottom line that can make or break you. What can you do to do retargeting campaigns, that cost you less money? What can you do to do a referral program? Call to all your clients, tell them, hey, maybe you have someone who needs our product as well. We're going to pay you X amount of dollar per person you bring to the table. And keep everyone accountable. Bonus your team. What can you do to give them more bonus for your team members to go out there and get more results, right? Measure them. Whatever you focus on, you get, right? So go out there, tell your team, hey, we need this, I'm going to bonus you on this and that. And yeah, this is what you can do. Go and call all your suppliers and tell them, look, I'm the new owner, and I'm going to get to that in a bit, but this is one of the ways to renegotiate them. Look, I'm the new owners. The old terms are not working with me anymore, right? Again, cash flow, this is king. Those guys, those are the skills. It looks simple right now, but most business owners just don't implement that. Every week, you need to look at each of those things and ask yourself, what can we do in each of those things to be better? What can we do more? What can we do more of this? What can we do more of this? Every week, ask yourself, ask your team members. If you don't know anything about the business, go to your team members. Hey, team members, what can you do this week to upsell, to offer a bundle? What can we do to reach out to old customers? What can we offer them, right? What can we offer as a referral, right? If I don't know, it's a gym membership and we move everyone online, what can we do maybe to offer them a 1 month free online with our trainings if they refer a client to us, right? Think about all those things and every week think, what can we do to bring in more cash? Because if you don't have cash, you don't have a business, right? Cash and cash flow. More things. Find the giraffe. There's a cool business story. I forgot the name of the guy who said that he went and tried to turn around this huge billion-dollar company, and when he saw the balance sheet, the P&L, he saw like expense for like $250,000. When he asked the finance guy, hey, what is this $250,000 is for? And the answer was that they're sponsoring like a giraffe in like a, I don't know, like a Disneyland or whatever, right? And the business was like struggling, about to shut down every second, and they have like a $250,000 expense, right? Look for the giraffe there. Every business got the giraffe. Always ask yourself, what can we do? What can we trash or trim? Lean. Always cut expenses. What isn't necessary right now to bring in cash? If it's not revenue generating, what can we do to remove that? Right? Always keep that in mind. What can we do to delay, defer, or renegotiate contracts in terms with suppliers and receivables? Like I said, extend creditors' terms, right? So pay later. Rent, you can take rent holiday, right? You call them, especially nowadays with the coronavirus thing. It depends on where you're from, but a lot of companies are still paying their rent, and you can literally call and say, look, we can't continue to pay you right now. I'm sorry, I'm the new owner. I just joined. We just can't afford to pay you. I'm happy to renegotiate things, but right now we're insolvent. There's a chance we might need to shut down the business. we need a break from you for at least the next 2 months, and then we can renegotiate things again when the dust settles, right? Think about it. Most of the business owners are afraid to call to the owner of their property. All those little things that you can do if you have the balls and are willing to be the bad guy who's doing the work, can literally make or break a business, right? Some owners are just afraid to, unfortunately, just fire employees or just let them go for whatever. So by you willing to do that, you can literally make or break a business, save it or let it shut down. Another thing that I don't mention here is many times now, if you're going to buy a business right now, go and look at what your country offer businesses, right? A lot of business owners are getting offered different helicopter money basically, and every country have different terms. So by you literally going out there and doing that work and willing to do that work, you can get equity in the business by offering the business owner again to provide solutions, to tell him, hey, I'm willing to do, I'll do this, I want X% of equity for that. What can you do to sell inventory for a discount? Again, everything you can do to bring in cash. Ask yourself, how much cash do you have in the bank, right? And always plan for the worst case and forecast your future expense and fix things. Look at your bank account right now. How much cash do you have? Look at your expenses. Do some kind of and forecast. Keep it simple, right? You don't need to be a finance genius. Just think with yourself, what kind of expenses I'm going to have in the next week? What kind of expenses am I going to have in the next month? Let's make a list. What that numbers looks like. It's going to be $50,000. Holy shit, I only have $30,000 in my bank account in cash. So what can I do to get rid of those expenses that are going to come to me? And do your best. What can I do to call this person or that person or renegotiate that, or literally call them and tell them, look, we're done with the payments right now because I'm the new owner. I need to do my due diligence. You can do that. We're insolvent. Otherwise we're going to shut down the business. I can't pay you right now. I'm sorry. Renegotiate. Be willing to do those things. So again, the only way to bring in more cash is get more money in faster, or get money you owed sooner. So receivables, like I said, tell them if they owe you money and they need to pay you in the next 60, 90 days, call them, give them a discount. Everything you can do to bring in cash right now and make less money go out, of course, right? So defer payment, cancel payments, especially nowadays with taxes. Again, depends on where you're at. There are a few tax relief situations. So go and figure it out, right? What can you delay? What can you cancel? So especially now, yeah, negotiate and see the rules in your country. And yeah, what can you outsource? If you look at expenses, you have expensive in-house. What can you do to outsource maybe? That will cost you less. Look for grant funding. Look out there. Who can provide you money maybe? Look for receivable financing, right? That can help you with cash flow. What can you do to maybe sell equity to your employees? Tell them, look, do you want to become an owner of this business, right? We'll sell it to you for X amount, or can you bring in a competitor or someone in the sector that maybe will even run the business for you and will buy some shares in the business? Everything to bring in cash, right? The only reason that your business will shut down is if you don't have cash. So when you go into a business to try to turn it around, your only one thing is, what can I do to bring in cash today? More cash in that can cash out. That's your only goal. And all those are different ways that most business owners are just not taking on a regular basis. And like I said, this is what stop all payments means. You go and tell them, look, I took over this business. I need some time to turn things around. And I'm in a due diligence period. I'm right now in a due diligence period. So we stop payments. Otherwise, we're going to go bankrupt. So give me some time, please, to sort things out. Otherwise, you won't have anyone to pay you anyway. And trust me, especially if it's something like a lease or rent, no one will give you a hard time on it right now. So be willing to make the hard calls. Trading insolvent. Legally, when you can't pay debt when they do, when you can't pay your employees, your staff, all that stuff, what you can tell your creditors, when you feel like, oh shit, I don't have money to pay my staff, I don't have money, you can call everyone you owe money to and tell them, look, I'm looking at things. We may be trading insolvent. I can't pay anyone right now, or it will be clawed back when we go into liquidation anyway, right? Highlight the fact that it's illegal to trade insolvent and offer to pay 20 cents on the dollar at most if they're crucial suppliers to you, right? So if you're selling food, obviously you want to get that food because that's how you make money, right? But offer to maybe pay 20 cents on the dollars to pay less right now. Otherwise, tell them, look, otherwise we just have to bankrupt, to file bankruptcy, and we're done, right? So negotiate those things. Be willing to do the hard calls. And yet, pay only important and urgent suppliers that keep the business alive and bring you cash. Don't pay based on the one who screams the loudest, right? Go out there, renegotiate things. And at this point, pivoting, right? So restaurants to home delivery, and gyms to Zoom sessions, right? Call businesses and offer exclusive lessons, for example, right? You can call business owners and tell them, look, I know you guys don't have this and this and that. Sorry, I'm looking at the questions. I got distracted. So yeah, do whatever you can to pivot things right now, right? You got to be creative. Those are just two examples I was thinking about today. But think about, look outside, see what's possible, and come up with those ideas if and when you go into those businesses. Question is 20 cents on the dollar and the rest later, or just 20 cents and done? Well, it's all negotiable, right? You can tell them, look, this is what I can pay you right now. Take it or leave it. Next month, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay you that, right? And you can even tell you, look, this is my offer for the next week. Otherwise, I might just pay that money for a different supplier, right? Again, all negotiable. Because literally, and some of those suppliers might say, you know what, fuck it, I'll take the 20 cents on the dollar right now. This business might won't even be here next month. And for you, it's great because you're going to save yourself cash flow right now. Plus, you're going to still keep your supplier that is crucial for your business. And for him, it's like, hey, at least I got something, you know? So keep those things in mind. So what's next, guys? This was a long session. I hope I didn't overwhelm you, but I wanted to share with you this crucial lesson, in my opinion, based on what's going on right now in the market. Here's my suggestion to you. Find 20 deals, build relationship first, and make 20, let's do this, $1 or 100% earnout deals, right? Can you do this? And when I'm saying 20 deals, can you do 100, right? And when I'm saying 20, I'm not saying 20 people that you just call and hang up on you. I'm not saying 20 emails. I'm saying 20 people that you had at least 1 hour conversation with, right? At least, even 2 hours. Ideally, you had 2 conversations with him because you know that they're struggling and you're at least in the ballpark of doing a deal. So let's say at least 20 of those. And make offers. Can you make 20 offers in the next week or two? And I'm telling you, businesses are struggling right now. Go and find restaurants, go and find gyms. I'm telling you, you guys, if you have the balls to go in and roll your sleeves and do the work, you can do really cool and interesting things in this market. And that's my wish for you right now. And definitely reach out if you think like we can help. Me or anyone maybe in the network. Post in the Facebook group, email our support. And that's it. So that was a long one. Any questions before I end the call? Because that's all I got for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? Give me a yes or something. Show me that my voice is is still well, my voice is still okay. IT, Alexis, it depends on the business, right? $1 down businesses are businesses that are struggling, where the owner is like, fuck it, I'm out. I don't want to be here. Those are the deals you can get for $1 down. It depends. I don't know what's going on with the IT businesses right now. It depends. You need to ask them, right? What's the basic script? What to say to the seller in order to get the $1 deal down accepted? Like I said, there's no script that will get you $1 down deal accepted. It's about building relationship and asking about his problems, asking about his goals, and then telling him, look, man, here are all the things that I think I can do. Like even mention some of those things, you know, here that I mentioned all of here. Here's all of the work that I'm willing to do. I'm willing to work 24/7. I'm willing to, you know, I'm willing to bring everyone together, be the leader here, roll my sleeves, do all those things to help with cash flow, to help with, you know, different terms, to help negotiate with suppliers. I'll do whatever I can to help maybe bring things online, to pivot the business, you know, all those different things that you can offer. And then you tell them, look, here's all the work I'm willing to do. Here's my offer. I'm willing to take over the business from you, right? The problem is you're looking for a script, Ronald, because you don't see yourself as bringing value to the table. You guys need to see yourself Just by you going in there and be willing to take over that burden from them, that's you bringing value. And your offer in return is to take over the business for free, basically. It's $1 just because that's a legal official way to do that, but that's it. You're going out there to help them, to give value, to help entrepreneurs right now who are suffering more than ever, right? Business owners suffering right now. And if you are willing to go out there and, like I said, roll your sleeves, do the hard work, find them, care about them, listen to them, tell them that you'll work 24/7 to try and turn it around, and you have ideas and you have thoughts and you have plans, and all you need is for them to give you a chance, then you can do really, really beautiful things here. I'm telling you, I know gyms that in the last few weeks made more money than they made all of their, basically they had the best month right now because they basically just move things to online. A lot of people don't know how to do that, how to even use Zoom, how to invite their clients, all those small things that if you can bring to the table can really, really be helpful to those business owners, and at the same time save them from the hustle of firing employees, of dealing with suppliers and creditors and things like that. We appreciate the replay. Yeah, obviously we're going to share the replay as soon as it's up, hopefully by tomorrow, because those videos take some while to get up to Zoom and all that. Would you buy the business with an LLC with his debts and etc.? If the business go bankrupt and you didn't sign personal guarantees, are you 0% personally responsible for them? What if the business is defaulting in bank loans? Like I said, that's why I'm saying you in the first deal, definitely consult with a lawyer. I can tell you in the US for sure, if you're hiding behind 2 LLCs, you're not personally have any personal responsible unless you sign a personal guarantees. No question, just a massive thank you. We are at war. Yep. All right, guys. So hope you got some value here. I'm gonna drink some tea because I'm freaking I'm not used to talk for 3 hours straight. But go out there, do the work, please, guys. Fail. Don't keep it simple. People underestimate simplicity, right? Simplicity. That's the key. Go out there, talk to business owners, build relationships, build rapport, and get it going. I think right now in this opportunity, I felt like it's my duty almost to share those lessons with you. And now it's a matter of, are you going to go out there? Are you going to make the offers? And keep us updated in the group. And read Diamond Cutter if you didn't. Go and help people. That's how you need to look at things. You're going out there and help business owners. And by you helping business owners, you're helping yourself. So go out there, help people, and share with us in the Facebook group any lessons, any progress, anything that could help others. Remember that you taking action and inspiring others might be the only reason that you helped someone to stop and to not stop and give on themselves, right? People see you go out there, talk to business owners, and they're afraid. And by you showing, hey, I talked to a business owner, they're like, holy shit, if this guy can do it, I can do it. Keep yourself accountable. Go out there, do the work. And yeah, I wish you the best with your health and everything, because I'm sure all of you guys are probably at home right now and it's fucking quarantine thing. But yeah, I hope at least this got you inspired on what's possible and what can you do with the opportunities out there. Remember, go out there and help business owners. Ask for what help they need. What are their problems and what are their goals? Don't come from a place of greed and trying to take. Come from a place of providing value and trying to help, and that will get back to you 10 times fold. So again, thank you everyone for being here so long with me. I know it was a long call, but I hope you enjoyed it and got some value, and I'll see you soon. And I'll upload the replay as soon as it's ready. Take care, everyone.